Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Friday, the final day of our Top Step TV takeover here. Dakota, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing so much better, Rips. My body's finally adjusting to waking up this early. The sad thing is, this is the last day. So I'm finally getting in the rhythm.
Finally
I'm
got
finally
used to
getting
it,
in the
and it's the
system,
final day. Isn't that how it always
and
works?
it's very bittersweet. And as I'm talking, I'm watching the Nasdaq, and we're getting so close to new all-time highs.
Yeah,
Here we
this
go,
is
guys.
this is crazy right now. This is wild. I traded this live on my stream over on the Market Clubhouse YouTube live stream, and it was a wild print. I ended up getting smoke to the top side, and then smoke to the downside, and then ended up going to the top side and making some money there. So let me fix my volume again, folks.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
running
So
into certain issues here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna just start, and I could chat here for a minute and just let me know when you're ready to go. But it's Friday. It's a new day for me. Last 2 days has been rough. I've been taking losses. We all know that. I vented a little bit in the stream, with it kind of walking through my emotions, how I'm feeling. And maybe today is going to be a great example of you know, it's a new day. I had my slow markets class last night. Everything went really well. I was kind of just, sitting on my hands waiting for the non-farm payroll that just came out, and we're testing all-time highs. I mean, that's just one thing. Just buy the dip. Every time we sell off, we just want to buy it.
Buy
We're
that
going to be
dip.
at
Don't
new
even
all-time
trip, right?
highs. Yeah, and so I'm going to watch this. Like I said, we have about 25 minutes till New York session open, and I'm going to just be trading just as normal. And I was doing a little bit of like self deep thought, right? Like I'm out of sync in terms of my execution. Of course, this is not the normal time that I trade. I'm typically a slow markets. I place trades, and I like to trade overnight. However, I think this is going to be really good for me. Trading the New York session more consistently, practicing, getting ready for our Top Step Trading League down in Vegas. Because when we're doing the trading league, I am going to be trading during the New York session anyway, and so this is going to be good practice to deal with emotions, to deal with faster markets than what I'm used to, and so it's just part of learning. And then the transition from trading a slow market, holding trades overnight, versus fast markets where the market's moving really fast and you can't really hold a trade for too long. In comparative, and I was talking to some of my traders last night in slow markets, Rips, and we have a lot of traders who are very, very used to trading the New York session. And then maybe they get a job, maybe they have kids, whatever the situation is, they want to start, seeing if they can trade overnight. And that's a different transition for them, right? Where they're used to the markets moving really fast and they're in and out within like minutes, 5-10 minutes scalping. And then they try and transition to something longer. It's very hard to hold a trade for longer than an hour. And I think that's kind of what I went through the past few days, even though I do trade the New York session, relatively frequently. Waking up early, getting my body used to it, kind of out of my little routine that I typically am in. And yeah, here we go again, getting ready for some all-time highs, hopefully, some market volatility, and to trade with you.
So, are you looking at the market through any type of lens this morning, Dakota? Are you looking at it from a short-sighted lens, or are you looking? I mean, yesterday I believe that your bias kind of overtook what could have been an extremely profitable day for you yesterday. And it's not a knock on your trading or not a dig on you, but I think it's helpful to kind of talk through that process for everybody out there. What are you looking at today? Are you looking at both sides of the market? Are you exploring potentially going both ways, or talk to me through that?
Yeah, that's I'm just gonna keep shorting. As we hit all-time highs, just short and then short some more, and then just pump the market for you guys, provide you the liquidity as a great trading buddy. No, but yeah, I agree with you to an extent in the terms of my overall trade analysis was good. Shorting at those levels, that my first trade yesterday worked out really, really well.
Right.
My overall trade execution was not great. Closing it out, holding it on for longer than expected. And then the other ones, I'm going to say, even though it was going against the trend, and my favorite saying the past couple of days was, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it probably is a duck. And that's kind of what happened yesterday, right? We were going up, we were breaking, resistance. So it was looking bullish, it was acting bullish. Well, we're probably bullish, and I was getting in shorts. So even though I was looking for good risk reward, I was just poor execution on my end and risk management, maybe. Going against the trend, not having as tight of a stop loss as I maybe should have. And just full disclosure, after the stream, you guys know I hopped into some combines. I did end up taking another short around 350s, and we got a very vicious market sell-off near the end of the day, and I did really well in those combines. So that felt good. That kind of got me out of kind of an emotional rut, maybe, to know that, I just keep following my plan. And, I do have a really low win percentage, and we did get this big sell-off. You guys could see my chart near the end of yesterday, and I made $4,500 in 3 combines, which, combines is not as comparative to a live account, but I think it just proved to myself that I need to continue to stay consistent. I need to keep managing my risk and keep with the way that I trade, because the risk reward and the statistics does work out in the long run. I mean, if it was in my live account, I would have ended it, even though I had some ugly losses. It would have been a positive day for me, which was good to see. It's just like flipping a coin, right, Rips, where you keep hitting heads. And then eventually you see, a couple tails, and then the statistics start to level out. You're like, okay, you know what? This coin is not rigged, even though you might get a feeling that something might be rigged, or you're doing something wrong. And it was just in that moment where it felt like that. It's like, I'm reading the markets wrong. I'm trading bad at this. I'm like, man, I just need to stay consistent, stay focused, and the statistics will work out. So that's how my day was yesterday. Today's a brand new day. It's Friday, and I'm going to trade as normal. So
while you were talking there, I did scalp that short. The market was rolling over. Looking over at my trading view here, that's not there it is. There's my trading view. And where did you go? Oh, whoops. Where are you, Dakota? Hold on. Got to get you back in here. And there you are. All right, we found you. Sorry about that, folks. But I did take a scalp short. I did add up to my total. We were at $431 in my XFAs. Now we're up $700 on that scalp short there. So I was looking for this kind of area to be rejecting here. We had a level up at 365 quarters. Now, folks, if you are on Tradeovate and you're wondering, why is my price not the same as what I'm seeing on the screen there? You're probably looking over at the June contracts. We are not trading the June contracts right now because there's just not enough volume in those June contracts. So the liquidity is very sparse. So this is the March contract still. You can see kind of the watermark behind that. It says futures, March 2024. These contracts are actually expiring next Friday. So there's a limited amount of time left to trade into these contracts. So I was just eyeing this weakness up here as Coach Dakota was talking and targeting that 41 to the downside. And we did scalp that ever so slightly short here. Where's my... wow, we got double Dakota there. So just scalping that short here. But these were my trades that I took. I had a bracket order set up. I shorted this because my bracket order got triggered. I got stopped out because my stop got triggered. And then I took that long, recovered the losses, and then we took some other scalps here along the way. And that's the scalp that I just took while Dakota was talking there. So for the markets today, what I'm looking at is a potential rejection here at these highs. If we do have these highs kind of continue to reject, we do have a lot of downside room to take this to the south side. I would be looking at these lower levels. We have this nice air gap below this level right here of 224 halves. So I would be looking to see if NQ can make its way down to these 166s. That's going to be contingent on a failure up here in this area. So if we do have a failed auction up in that area, we have buyers kind of exhausting, then we could potentially see that rolling over there. So if you are trading on Topstep X as well, do make sure that you're trading the March contracts. You can do whatever you want, of course, as always, but I would highly recommend that you're trading the more liquid contracts, and those are going to be the March 2024 contracts in the NQ, in the S&Ps, in the Dow, in any of the products that you're trading here. Besides, gold and crude, those are going to be different contracts. Which contracts are we trading in gold and crude right now? I believe we're on the April contracts, if I'm not mistaken.
I think April on oil. I'm on April.
Right.
My crude oil.
Yeah, it's the April contract. So yeah, outside of gold and crude, you probably are going to be wanting to trade those March contracts there. So that's what I'm going to be looking at today. That's my focus for the NQ. I'm going to try to be hands off for the most part off this open here, just in case we have kind of some riffraff that's going off. We are just kind of chopping in this range between our two levels here of 341 and 365 quarters. So if we don't break above that level, there would be a nice rejection opportunity to get this fade. That's what I'm going to be looking for there. If we do have a burst above 365 quarters to the top side there, I would be looking at potentially probing 397 and 429 to the top side. So that's what I'm looking for, Dakota. I'm going to go back to your screen now.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till the New York session open and we'll see which way, because I'm at a point where I'm not bullish or bearish, because we're at all-time highs, and kind of like what you said, right? If we start rejecting all-time highs, we could sell off. But since being so close to these all-time highs, what's the all-time high? 18,378 and a half or something?
Yeah.
When I checked. So yeah, so right there. And we blink and we could be above it. So
right,
if we do start to break, then yeah, of course, I'm going to be taking trades to the long side. But that given said, it's I don't want to be bearish. We'll see. We'll see how the market. I'm going to just do the best I can just to trade the price action in front of me this morning. Maybe be a little bit more, put on my scalping hat and be in and out of trades a little bit more quicker, and just see how that serves me. Kind of see profit, take profit, be happy with what the market's currently giving me, and not be so, I guess, patient. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. Is like, because yesterday and the day before that, I was in some good trades. I was in that one where I was almost 100 points and it came back, and I took like $600 in profit when it was like over $2,000. And yeah, that only happened in a minute, like 5 minutes, which is crazy. And I am a big fan for, well, when the market's going in my favor, I'm just going to let it run. I'm going to see about just locking in profits a little bit quicker today, and just see how that plays, because I don't trade the New York session very often, and it seems like that is going to be the better. Richard Harris says in chat, maybe a little bit less stubborn. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm practicing. My main goal is to get used to trading the New York session. I'm going to be trading it for our Topstep Trading League, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Do you want to go over yesterday's session? There was a question in chat to go over yesterday's session and kind of what you saw in yesterday's session on your charts, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we could do it. I mean, we still have 15 minutes to open, so why not, right? This is the 5-minute chart, and here was yesterday's session. Okay, so first of all, this is what I was looking at, and feel free to watch the replay of yesterday, right? So we can get some more views on that video. So this is where we were at. We were kind of in this range, I guess. This is a really wide range, and this is where I was kind of saying, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. As in, we made a higher low, and we were testing these highs, right? And the first setup that I seen was that maybe we start to see a channel. Now, give me a moment. I'm going to just draw this out. There we go. And then I'll talk through a little bit. My first level I had, I think it was here, right? And then the second one was up in this kind of a zone. Remember, these are more of zones and they're not exact levels. And I was thinking to myself, we could start to get in kind of a channel-like market, like a bullish channel or something. And if we do rally up into one of these, I was looking to get short because I was looking for a pullback. Sure enough, we did rally. We consolidated here for a minute. And once we got up into these 18,220s, I think I got in at like 222 or something. I got into 2 contracts short. And sure enough, I mean, as you guys all seen, we had a really beautiful, almost pretty much 100-point sell-off. And I was short up here in this zone. I closed out of one trade for a take profit of 50 points. I held on to the other trade when, with hindsight, it's easy to say I should have closed it out. And sure enough, it came back, turned around, went immediately against me, and we started rallying. And ever since then, I was just looking for some type of a pullback and looking to sell when we hit these different zones. But as you guys see, what happened yesterday was we just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And I was taking losses, trying to play 3-bar reversals and any reversals on these 5-minute candles. And we were just getting bought up. We never did get a really decent pullback since then. It was just straight up. And then right in the afternoon, we did get into these 50s. I did get into a decent short. I had a stop loss at, just above an all-time high, got in short here, and I was targeting 50 points. So my target was, 18,300. And we did get that sell-off. Unfortunately, it was in a combine, but it was a trade nonetheless, combine or live account. And that gave me that confidence. And it felt good, to be honest. But yeah, I really had a strong bias for a pullback yesterday. And sometimes when I do have a bias and the market just keeps running, part of my bias as well was we had non-farm payroll this morning, and I was not expecting such a huge, consistent, drawn out, rally the day before a big news event like yesterday. And yeah, sometimes when you have a bias going into a day and the market is just a consistent one direction, the opposite of your bias, you are going to be having a really ugly day, which happened to me. And then we got that pullback at the end of the day, which was very, very good. I love to see that pullback. I love to see consolidation or, a build up, a pullback, especially when we're near an all-time high. I mean, just like a rubber band or a coil. I would have hated for us to break an all-time high yesterday, because when we do break, I want us to break with a lot of momentum. And the more we consolidate, the more momentum gets built up, in my opinion. And so when we do break a new all-time high, this gives us more, consolidation, and stretches that rubber band out so that when we do break, we could have a lot more momentum and it could be a lot more vicious, rather than breaking when we're already up 1.5% for the day. Just gives more confidence to when we are playing breakouts, especially to such a solid resistance area like an all-time high.
Yeah, and we just looking at the levels that we're watching right here, we have these levels at 319 halves, which we're kind of auctioning into right now. I did take another scalp while you were chatting away. I'm up $914 in 2 XFA accounts right now. We did have this rejection here that we were watching, and this has been kind of rolling over here, but there's a lot of liquidity. You can see on the visible range volume profile that I have here on my screen, this is where most of the liquidity has been contracted in this area of the session. So it is potential that we can kind of bounce here, and the opening is going to be very violent and a lot of volatility. So if I'm not taking scalps here, I want to be hands off. I'm not looking to have a position into the open here, because it can be very unpredictable with a lot of the positioning that's going on here. And as well as when we're having a contract roll, remember the March contracts in futures are expiring on Triple Witching Friday, which is next Friday. So we will have a lot of folks coming out of these contracts. If they're in a short position to get out of the contract, they have to buy. And if they're in a long position, they have to sell in order to roll out of these contracts. So there could be a potential amount of volatility, a large amount of volatility in today's session, simply because of the roll coming in, as well as we do have a lot of these large names like NVIDIA and Meta that are super pumped up right now. And the options chains for those names have been lighting up tremendously strong. So we do have a lot of folks that are buying out of the money calls. For instance, just going to look here over at NVIDIA really quick on the options chain. I do want to get a quick little check here. On NVIDIA, we do have a lot of open interest and volume heading into these higher contracts. And in fact, it's going into the 1100s. These are the contracts that are expiring today. The 1300s have 23,000 contracts of open interest. Now, we're not going to get to 1300 on NVIDIA today unless some kind of crazy thing happens. But that doesn't mean that we can't get to 1,000 today. NVIDIA is trading 953 right now, and there's 14,888 contracts at the 1,000 strike calls in NVIDIA. So that leads us to have the potential of a gamma squeeze. You factor factor that in with the fact that we had this NFP print, we had the unemployment numbers coming out today, and it wasn't a big outlier print. It was sort of in line, but that could also add juice to the market here, where we have a lot of folks that are rolling out of their March contracts. Obviously, there's tons of open interest still in the March contracts. And we're looking at potentially bringing that volatility into today's session, because it's Friday. After today, it's roll week next week. Most of the folks are going to be rolling into these contracts by Tuesday, Wednesday into the June contract. So we'll have to see if that adds a lot of volatility today. And I don't think that we're going to have a singular direction in this market until we have this kind of trade play itself out, where we're going to have, if we have a lot of folks that are piling into out of the money calls in Meta and Nvidia, maybe even in Microsoft. I don't know that people are going to be trading Microsoft as aggressively as in Meta or Nvidia, but we have folks that are going to be piling into SMCI. SMCI is going to be added into the S&Ps on March 18th. There's a lot of different volatility things that are happening in the market right now, which can make this incredibly unpredictable, which means that we can have a big move to the top side and then follow that by a big sweeping move to the downside, only to draw some liquidity down there to bring us back up to the upside. So I expect a somewhat choppy day until we start to have a clear range breakout or a breakdown. This is a very significant day in the market because of all of these volatility events. So I'm going to be watching these. I'm going to try my best not to trade too heavy on the open. If I do trade, I will be looking at this with a scalping mindset, unless I see something across the tape that's going to signify that we are going to get, an insanely crazy open. So I could see this going either way. I could see this breaking down these 319s, flushing all the way down to where we were off that print, down in 224s, drawing some liquidity, then bringing us right back to the top side to test where we were and getting rejections here. So I would want to see, kind of a little bit of this trade playing out before I'm jumping into anything with larger size. If I do see something off the open, I'm going to try to limit my contract sizing, maybe like 2 or 3 contracts at best. So that's what I'm looking for here, Coach D. Anything that you're going to be trading here off the open?
Yeah, so really quick, I have a question for you. I don't trade the New York session very often. It's been a while. I'm also a big options trader, and I look at some things like you were just saying, open interest in some of those levels. So when we have a big news event like this morning, non-farm payroll, how does that play into the market open? Because nobody could adjust options, get in or out until the market opens.
Well, you can trade options on futures during when the markets are closed. You can actually, there are options that you can trade after hours on specific contracts.
I'm talking specifically on like Nvidia and the Magnificent Seven.
Right.
Like
so
how does that play a role into the market open?
So we have. Yesterday we had earnings out of Broadcom AVGO, which is part of the top 10 names in the futures indices here. In the large cap indexes, it's a big name, right? So they reported they had somewhat weaker guidance that wasn't very promising, but the market still found a way to rally on that. Initially it had a dip to the downside, but so that could bring into things where we have people that obviously put earnings bets on that in the options chain. So you're going to have people moving in and out of those contracts. So, that can introduce a lot of volatility. There's contagion in the sector where since Broadcom did well, that can have contagion over to other names like Nvidia, SMCI, Meta, Google, Tesla. It can have contagion in the sector, and we can see that kind of move things around for other folks. But with the options, since we did kind of gap up in Nvidia here, and we are kind of holding this gap, we're trading at 954 right now. There is a chance that we will have either people rolling their calls into next week, or they're going to be just taking profit in that position. I would think that maybe people are going to take those contracts and even roll them into the same day, even a higher strike potentially if they're trying to be super aggressive. There's a lot of different things that can be done here. And so we're going to see it off the open. I do expect a ton of volatility coming here. We are about, 4 minutes here until the open. But we will see, like somebody said in chat, like Grant said here, there is a volatility crush, but we can see a continuation trade. So if we start to see people buying out of the money calls in a lot of these names, or out of the money puts, and it's one-sided, we can see the market move to those directions pretty quickly. And so that's what I'm going to be watching for off the open here. That's what I'm going to be looking at, specifically watching Nvidia very closely here, because that's going to be giving us a lot of tell of what's going on here. Nvidia, Meta, SMCI, AVGO. We're going to be watching all of these names because that's going to be what's kind of dictating the directionality. Pair that with the volatility event of NFP. We have CPI coming. We have FOMC on the table. We have contract roll. There's just so many elements of volatility right now that it's so hard to predict the directionality. Instead, it's better to wait until the dust settles and then try to catch the wave when it's coming. So looking for clear directionality in the market, not getting caught in the chop, and keeping your contract sizing in line with your risk and manifesting a trade plan that actually makes sense to whatever the volatility is that it is presenting here.
Yeah, it seems 41,000 calls at $1,000 strike.
That's a lot of open interest. And remember, that's the monthlies next week. And that's why there is so much open interest. Today, the weeklies are expiring. Next week is the monthlies. And it's also triple witching. So it's a big date. So triple witching usually happens to have a lot more open interest than the other dates.
A lot of brokers rushing to what we call it, a gamma squeeze, right? When we just start to see something like this.
Brokers will also hedge with buying from other brokers. These market makers in the options will also hedge by buying from other market makers in their contracts. And it's a wild world out there. And this can create very big volatile moves in the market. So again, today should be one of those days that you want to kind of wait for that wave to show itself before you're jumping in. Don't get lost in the sauce and get chopped up. Instead, wait for clear directionality and hop on board of that, because that's where I think most of the opportunity is going to be. We're also looking for Apple to get back above 170 here, because Apple has been so compressed, getting beaten down here. Same goes for Tesla, very compressed, very beaten down. We are just 2 minutes here from the open, folks. I do hope everybody out here in chat, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button below. It is a good luck button. As far as I've heard, this is a rumor. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but if you smash that lucky like button, the rumor is that the market makers will ensure that you have a green day. I can't guarantee this. It's just a rumor, but I do recommend you hit that like button.
I'm going to test that rumor out. Here we go. I clicked on like. I got to try something, right? For today. Yeah, like everyone's Prof Trader are one of the amazing moderators here in chat. My body's, I think, finally starting to adjust to this early morning session. So I feel good, even though I might not look as good as during slow markets. I woke up earlier. I woke up at like an hour ago. I did scalp a little bit of that non-farm payroll with you, Rips. Listen to you while I was getting ready. I feel a lot better this morning. So
that's great.
A lot more awake. Yeah, let's see. We're getting ready for the open.
Yeah, we are 1 minute here from the open, folks, and we are seeing the NQ starting to trail down here. I'm going to go over to my screen just in case I do take any trades here off the open. You can see the two scalps I took while Dakota was talking, but yeah, this is tooling to the downside right now. We're having Amazon sort of rolling over. The S&Ps are rolling over to 51.61 evens here. And we do have Apple kind of rolling over as well. So is this the final dip before max bidding today? We shall see. Good luck, everybody. We have less than 30 seconds here until the market opens. Dakota, if you're in any trades, please let the people know when you take those trades, because I'm going to have my screen up right now.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll call it out. Yeah, I'm just going to take high probable trades today. Like I said, I don't know. I'm going to see how the market plays out. Or, you know what? Why complicate things? Let's just buy the market. Like, why stress? Why think? Why overthink?
Markets are open here, folks. Markets are open. Very, very volatile here. Wow. Extremely, extremely volatile here. We are holding these 319s, if only temporarily. And it looks like it is shaking around here. Watching this price action. Not in any trades yet. NVIDIA is sailing to the downside a little bit here. Just a small little perk to the downside, or a dip to the downside, I should say. Apple is holding these 169s off the lows here. A lot of exchange going off here. Big volume coming in. And it looks like it's holding these 319s for the time being. We haven't auctioned high enough to those 341s, but we haven't really found any weakness below. And as I'm saying that, we do see that weakness coming in on those 319s. Still no trades yet for me. Meta is kind of just holding the line at these 514s. NVIDIA is comfortably below 950 here. We are bouncing at those 293 quarters. Big bounces right now. Huge monster bounces here in this volatile open. NVIDIA is bouncing here. S&P is bouncing as well. Very choppy here off this open. We are printing a perfect doji here on the 15-minute bar. There are no fire drills today. No fire drills, no free resets. So if that's what you're here for, sorry to say that we don't have the power to do that. We don't have the power to do any fire drills or resets.
Oh, also, everybody, we're all here listening. I got some good news from the team in Las Vegas last night. I might have.
Hold on 1 second. We are kind of flushing down. We'll get to that here in just a second. We are flushing down here.
I'm going to run to the restroom.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get your camera off screen here. There we go. Let me do this. There we go. All right. So still looking for a trade here off the open. It's very washy, very rinsy here. I want to try to have enough risk that I can take something without getting stopped out. It's just literally moving up and down here. We are kind of trading between 300 up to 330. So this is a 30 handle range here. And it's just literally just rinsing around. NVIDIA is holding the line here at these 950s. I'm going to try a long here as we are holding this. I do want to see this auctioning above 41s. So we'll see if we can get up and over here, these 30s. A little bit of hesitation here. I do want to move my stop down a little bit more, actually trying to keep my stop within this range. Seeing if we are going to hold these 20s at all and then auction back up towards that 41 level. Right now, we did have a rejection at those 30s, so I'm looking for that 30 to be met with some strength. So just watching here, we have some sellers that are stepping in, but they're not super aggressive yet. Still holding these 319s. My platform is lagging just a little bit here. Let's see if we can get this auction up above these 30s now. That seems to be the capping area of the market. There we go, up above those 30s. If we get follow through, I might add to this. So just seeing if we can have a little bit of a follow through those 30s. Right now, it is kind of rejecting at that level. Currently holding these 20s. Seeing a little bounce out of NVIDIA. S&Ps are kind of holding the line here as well. So just trading one contract here. Topstep X froze. Yeah, there's a lot of volatility right now. Very, very high volatility in this market. So again, I'm looking for the NQ. I'm looking for these 30s to pump. And I'm looking for us to get above those 30s with some strength here. So watching here on this pump up towards these 30s. Again, still a little bit of harsh rejection on those 30s. It's kind of the capping area. But if we did burst through that with some volume here, I could see the market starting to rally above that level. And Apple is starting to rally here a little bit. Microsoft is tooling to the downside. Let's see if we can get above these 30s now. And there we are above the 30s, looking for 41 to the top side here. Can we hold this push up? Again, a little bit of a rejection right at this topping level, but this would have a big burst of volume if we can get up and through this level. There's that burst. There's those 41s that we're looking for there. Very, very nice pull up to the top side there. Seeing if we can hold this push above 41s now. Getting this encroachment above 41s into these 50s. And seeing if we hold 41s, and I could add to that if we get above 50 here. 41s are showing a little bit of weakness. I want to see this cresting up with confidence now. Nice push up here. Looking for 50s to trade. And a little bit too much volatility. I'm going to cover right there. So that's going to bring us up from $900 on the day up to $1,400 there, copied across 2 XFA accounts. We got Mr. Dakota back in the mix here. While you're gone, Dakota, we did good for you. We did good for you.
Just buy, right? That was the answer.
Well, we have to buy, but then we also have to sell. See, that's the hard part, is trying to find out where we sell. And it looks like we got pretty close to the top tick there. So trying to do you proud there, Dakota. Anybody else here in chat catch that break of 31s there to the top side? Anybody else out there seeing if you did, drop a W in chat. Let's see. Let's catch a little temperature on the room. Do not ever copy my trades. There's always going to be a delay. Never, ever copy anybody's trades. But listen to what I'm saying. And if there's any value in that, you know, maybe you see the same thing that I'm seeing. Maybe you take a similar trade, right? Why is your trading view ES chart all different? It's because you're looking at the June contract. You need to adjust that to the March contract. Wow, congratulations there. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Look at that.
Means they did good, right? They caught that trade.
Very, very nice. I'd love to join you, but Topstep X isn't working. Yeah, Topstep X is probably under a little bit of heavy load here because it's just a very volatile market right now. So prints are moving very, very quickly. Even Rhythmic was lagging just a little bit for me. So I'm getting kind of mixed reports. Topstep X is working well for some people and not so well for others. So I'm very happy with our trade so far. We're up $1,450, copied across 2 XFA accounts here. We are coming back down towards the lower end there, those 300s. We do have that level at 293. Going back to my trading view here, this is the open so far. But yeah, the NQ chart that we're trading right now, I'm trading the March contracts, and I do recommend that for the most amount of liquidity, you do want to be trading these March contracts as well. We did take these trades pretty much on only one contract here. That open trade was just on one single mini, NQ mini there. Topstep X is frozen. Try refreshing it there. The DOM was frozen, not lagging, but it's back now. So go ahead, just go ahead and refresh Topstep X because it's a web-based platform. If you go ahead and refresh it, it should be okay. So we are coming down towards these 293s here. Dakota, any trades, anything that you're eyeing here?
Any trades that I'm eyeing?
Yes.
I'm actually looking at taking a short.
Okay, what are you what are you looking for an entry? What are you looking for your levels?
Oh, whoops.
Oh, whoops. That's not a good sign. When you say
1 second, guys,
I get worried here.
Give me a second, please. I gotta fix this.
Are you in a trade?
What? Just 1 second.
Okay.
I'll explain after.
I'm gonna stay on my screen over here, so I'm gonna go back to mine. We did dip below that 293 level ever so slightly. Again, folks, this is a very, very difficult market to trade. If you're inexperienced in this type of price action, I would highly recommend that you are either trading on a practice account or not trading it at all, or waiting for directionality in this market, because this is going to be omnidirectional until it isn't. Yeah, Tesla is dumping again. Thank you for that there. Always rise. Good to see you. Stuck in a trade, can't move anything. Try refreshing the page, see if that helps. And I'm sure too, if it's a platform-wide problem, Topstep support is the best in the game, without a doubt. So they will make, I don't want to make this promise, but if there was a widespread platform issue, they're going to make that right. They always do. So I have full faith in Topstep that their support has always been the best in the game. Refreshing does not help. Okay, well, just give it a few more moments and see if it ends up opening up things. Are you in any trades over there, Dakota?
No, I was fixing something.
Fixing something. Did you have?
There we go. No.
Okay, I'm back on your screen now, and there's no porn up, so you're good.
No trades for me.
Topstep X is unfrozen now. API issues acting up. Again, folks, Topstep support is the best in the business. So if there is something that ended up happening today to Topstep X as a platform, they will always rectify that issue. So not to worry about it, folks. Not to worry. So we do have some news out from the ECB policymakers. They are overwhelmingly favoring a June interest rate cut. So that would be in line with what we're looking for out of the Fed over here on the state side. So we are auctioning back up towards 319 halves here. I am looking at potentially taking another trade. Even though the market was showing a reaction here to the downside, it looks like we may have found enough bid support to make a potential leg higher here. Looking over at NVIDIA is blasting off. And seeing how low we get here on a pullback. I'm looking at a potential long. I'm going to try a long here for a breakup above 319 halves. So watching this burst of volume to the north side here, we have to get above 320 with a lot of strength. If we do get above that, we will start to rocket here. A lot of liquidity being offered here in this zone. Holding those 319s. Yellen is speaking right now as well. Getting more data issues with Rhythmic here on my end. Very, very slow over in Rhythmic land here. Very, very choppy here. We're getting these extensions to the top side, but subsequent quick flushes here. So as long as we can make it above these 30s, I would be adding into this position potentially. And I'm not liking how the tape is turning here, to be honest. 319s are still holding, but it does look like it could potentially dump here. Watching these 319s again. Yellen saying the economy is performing better than any economy in the world right now. Seeing if we can hold above these 319s. There we go. Nice push up. Looking for these 30s to trade. Still a little bit of trouble getting through this. You know what? I'm just going to, trying to cover there on the offer. Seeing if we can actually get, there we go. Covered on the offer there. So that'll bump us up a little bit. We were up $1,400. Now we're up $1,700 on that small scalp there.
Nice trade.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, we were just trying to go level to level there. 319s to the 30s. So still kind of shaking around here. Secretary Yellen says we're seeing very strong jobs growth. Today's jobs report is still a signal for a strong labor market. This is in a TV interview that's going off right now. We're still very, very choppy here. If we're looking over at TradingView, you can see this opening 15-minute bar is a complete doji right now. So please be cautious out there if you are continuing to trade this. There's a lot of issues going on right now with a lot of these liquidity providers. Rhythmic is lagging quite a bit for me. So just try to bear with it. Just try your best to stay calm during this time when you're having platform issues. It's one of the worst things to happen as a trader, especially when you want to be nailing trades. I know what that feels like. It's awful. I was once locked into a position where I ended up taking a multi-six-figure loss because I couldn't get out of it, and there was nothing that broker could do. So, you know, with something like this, where if it's a platform-wide issue, there's more likely than not you will be made whole on that, even if you did take a loss. So just, you know, I don't want to speak out of turn and make any promises I can't keep, but just keep in mind that you're dealing with Topstep, who has the best support in the entire industry here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually got a message from behind the scenes, and just topstep.com/support. Reach out to them. Our team's in Vegas. Once they get back, I have pretty much zero doubt that they'll fix this. Like I'm not even worried about that. I know it's frustrating, but don't stress.
Yep, don't stress, folks, and just try to let's try to focus on positivity in here. Let's try to focus on seeing if we can take any other additional trades here. If the platform is working again, you know, maybe see if you can, if it's working. And there you go. It looks like some folks are getting filled there. Got flattened on Topstep X. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. U.S. economy is performing better than any other economy around the world, powering the global economy as well. Increased labor supplies adding to the U.S. growth right now. NQ is fading a little bit here, and I think that's being driven a little bit by Tesla and Microsoft, to be honest. But we are seeing S&Ps looking for some new highs here, trading 50 above 51.75 right now.
Are you in a trade right now, Rips?
I'm flat. You can see that right above my head here. It says flat and then entry.
No, yep.
So if I'm ever in a trade, that's how you can tell. So yeah, Prof Trader here in the chat, one of the amazing moderators in here, says, try to cancel the orders and be flat till the issues are gone for all. So yep, let's just all be patient here. And again, I understand that it can be very, very frustrating when we have platform issues. It's just part of being a trader. It's one of the costs of doing business. But thankfully, we're dealing with Topstep here, who does have the greatest support out of any prop firm. I've dealt with other prop firms before, and their support teams were just garbage. They didn't resolve any issues. Anytime I've ever had an issue with Topstep, it's always been resolved. I've never had an issue that wasn't resolved by Topstep support. So you are in good hands out there, folks. I promise you.
So I have a brief story for you, Rips, and maybe this is a good one to bring and a good time to bring it out.
Maybe. Well, I would say let's probably visit that probably around like 10 or 10:30, because I do want to continue trading this price action if we have something advantageous here.
This is referring to Topstep X issues.
Okay, I am going to be looking again at taking a trade over here, since we are tooling up above these 319s, looking for those 40s again to trade. We did have a whip of volatility there to the top side. I do want to try to catch this to the long side if we do have a nice pullback to around 25 or so. I'm going to try a long here, and I would add on a pullback towards 25. So watching here, we do have liquidity up at 35 that I do think that we will want to be tagging here. A little bit of a push up. There's that whip up into 35 there. There we go. Very, very nice up into these 40s and covering at those 40s. So we were up $1,700. That brings us all the way up to 2,000 now on that scalp up from 30s to 40s there. All right, Dakota, let's hear your story. I guess people don't want to see trading. Let's have Dakota tell the story.
So, yeah, I'll just be real quick, and we could jump back into trading. I trade in my personal accounts on my personal brokers, and there's been some times where I've had issues filling or closing out of positions, and I've reached out to their support, and so many times have they just given me the stick and said, you know what, this is your own money, you trade at your own risk, and if you have any issues with your own personal connections, they just say tough luck. And there's no way the broker is just going to say, hey, here's your money back because you screwed up, or because because there was something with the system, or rhythmic, or whatever the situation might be. Usually more times than not, it's news events or something. The great thing about Topstep, and I know there was a lot of Topstep had some issues when they switched to the one-step rule, right? When they went from like having multiple steps to the one rule. Man, that's when there was the Wild West in Discord, and every single time there was an issue, Topstep was amazing, and they was able to rectify it, giving the traders what they needed, answering it. Sometimes there's a lot of traders here, and it took a little bit of time to filter through all the requests, but they did it. So I have 100% confidence. If you're struggling, if you hit a daily loss limit, if there's something that was messed up, go ahead and send your request to support. Once they get back, they will reply and take care of it. And I'm messaging, I'm reaching out to them, letting them know what's going on. The whole we're on top of it. So yeah.
Keep talking. I'm in a trade here. Keep talking.
Yeah. No, I'm just going through reading messages back and forth. Yeah. Topstep.com/support. Go ahead and send. If you are having issues, send the request out there, and as soon as they can, they will go ahead and reach back out to you.
Super. That sounds great.
Man,
we just covered another trade there. We are up $2,500.
Buy the dip, man. God.
Sorry, a little bit more. 25.75. There we go. But no, please indulge the people. I think chat is interested more in story time versus trading time. So please indulge us.
That was the story. Like, this is nothing. And that's why I love prop firms. Is if you have issue, worst case scenario, you're out the thing. And Topstep's good at rectifying any of them. But yeah, I was actually looking to get into a short, and we just keep rallying. I need to stop thinking short on this freaking market.
Except for right now, because we did have a first pullback, and now we are. I mean, that's getting eaten up pretty quickly there. I mean, this is a very volatile and wild market. Did anybody in chat catch that from the lows there? We auctioned all the way down to about 293 there. Did anybody catch this run up from these lows here? I've just been scalping it on the way up here. We are auctioning up into these 65s now. Above 65 is that area that we were talking about here on TradingView. We were talking about this potential of this being the rejection area, and we're coming back up to that area now. So there should be a big kerfuffle at this area there. There we are, pushing back up towards those 65s now. We did tag that level 65 quarters right on the money. So we'll have to see if that is going to be the harsh rejection point. Right now, it just doesn't look like it. Looks like the market still wants to go. Apple is confidently above 170 here. Microsoft has turned back around. Microsoft was fading off the open here. We have a big burst from Google to the top side here. NVIDIA is trying to get over those 955s. I do want to see if I can buy a dip on this pullback at all towards these 55s. It was interesting to see how aggressively bought up that dip was. So I do potentially see a more squeeze here as long as we can get above these 65 quarters here to the top side. Volume is subsiding ever so slightly here, but not in a way that it is alarming. So a little bit of a pullback here below 50. And we do have room all the way down to 41 if this does want to fade a little bit more. But right now we are just seeing aggressive dip buying in this tape. Very, very volatile still. I'm going to try another long here, averaging 59s. I want to see this burst up through these 60s. And again, I want to see 65 quarters being aggressively taken here. I'm going to add into that as we push down in these 55s. So 2 contracts, 58 average here. Looking for this to push back up. Again, 41 is kind of the backstop that I have on this trade here. So seeing if we are going to hold these 50s once more. And again, we're looking for 65 quarters to be our move here to the top side to punch through. So watching here right above 55. Nice push up. Let's see if we can auction above these 60s now. Watching here above these 60s. There's some liquidity right there at 60s. Can we burst through this liquidity at 60s? That is the question. Whether or not they want to aggressively sweep this liquidity or not. Watching closely here. And 60s again. They are trying to swipe at these 60s, but nobody wants to be the first one in. And there's the swipe on the 60s covering one contract and out the other one. So that's going to bring us up to $2,800 there on the day. Any trades on your side there, Dakota?
I think I might be getting in long right here if we break out to see if we could have a play for that all-time high. Yep, I'm just getting into a long right now. Just got into one contract.
Good luck to you, Dakota. Can we drop some W's in chat for Dakota? Give him some good luck on this trade.
I placed the trade to the long side, man. Here we go.
So should I short since you put in the top? Is that what I should do now? I'm just kidding.
Right now, it's looking like it. Come on.
We got some W's in chat here for Dakota. Wishing him some good luck. I'm just ribbing him over here.
No, we're having fun. Like I know we were having some issues and we said that little thing, but we're traders. And I mean, I think you guys seen it as well, MP and Andre. I mean, there's never any bad blood. But yeah, I'm looking. I want to get into 3 contracts to play for a break of an all-time high because we are so close. And with this type of volatility, like I said, you could close. I could look to a different screen. The next thing I know, we'll be breaking to all-time highs. And it's just another example. Just buy the dip. This was just a pullback from the non-farm payrolls highs. Pulled back to tested around the 18,300 level. Now we're pushing right back up. Yeah, I'm going to be getting into 3 contracts long if we can continue to push on these highs.
Very, very nice. What would be the level that you'd be adding into? Would you be adding on a dip or would you be adding on a rip here?
I would be adding on a rip. So if we break out of that little pivot right around 65 and 66, it looks like. So
nice push up here, 65 quarters. A lot of liquidity up here. It might be we might see this now really start to push. So beautiful trade that you have on there, Dakota.
There you go. 3 contracts long. Let's see if we can. I'm going to try and hold this to see if we can push and break to new all-time highs.
Good luck to you there, Dakota. I am just watching this price action here. It's interesting how volume is declining, but I do think that we would have volume extremely explosive above these areas as long as we do break out. The key trigger point that I'd be looking out for above 65 quarters here for you traders would be 75 spot 25. So 75 quarters would be the absolute trigger point to see this market go bananas here. So we are pushing up here, looking for these 70s to trade now. Yeah, NVIDIA is kind of flat. I saw that in chat here. We are having trouble wrestling above those 955s. But again, I mean, the options volume going into those 1,000 calls can carry NVIDIA, especially if it's, you know, if it's a tremendous amount of call buying there and not a lack of put buyers there. So 70s are starting to trade here. And we are getting above those 70s. Remember, 75 quarters are going to be the big trigger point to see an explosion of volume here to the top side. Very, very nice. There's that move above 75 and a quarter. Apple is gunning for that 171 mark here. I'm looking for a potential pullback to buy on myself. We do have a little bit of a pullback here down into these 70s. And above this, we do have a level all the way up at 97 halves that we could be entertaining pretty quickly here. So I'm just going to be seeing if yeah, there we go. There's that burst up through into those 80s. And seeing if we get any kind of slight pullback here that I could potentially ride this rocket ship with. A little bit of a pullback, watching the tape here. There's a nice pullback down to the 70s. Big rejection so far, but I want to see if this dip will hold. Apple again gunning for that 171 level. Slight dip. I'm going to add into that there, right at 75s. Average is 75 and 3/4. So 1 contract on for myself here. Looking to see if we can ride this together here, Dakota. Looking for that burst above the 80s. Yeah, new all-time high, now. Right? Yep. Looking for new all-time highs here. Nice little dip below 70 that was perfectly bought up. Looking again, Apple is struggling to get above that 170. NVIDIA is trying to get into those 960s. If NVIDIA starts to pull to the north side here, this could be some extreme action here to the top side.
I like that we're not just immediately just rejecting. This is really good, the way that I'm viewing it. The more time we spend in this area, and it looks like we're continuing to push up.
There we go. Big explosion. There's that huge explosion there to the north side. Beautiful, beautiful trading there, Dakota. Love to see this, folks. Looking up for these 85s to now trade. I want to see if I can add a second contract on any kind of pullback here. Doesn't look too stuffy up here at 85. There we go. Above 85s there. Still not stuffy. Looking for 97 halves to trade on my end. Very, very nice here. Up to 87. A little bit of kerfuffle here at these 87s. And still just rocketing to the top here. I want to see if we pull back at all to the 80s. Doesn't look like we will before we hit 90s. So I might want to cover my contract here up at these 90s for this scalp. A little bit of resistance at this 90 pull. Watching here through 90s. There's through 90s. A little hesitation here. Covering my one there. That's going to bring me up on the day up to $3,300 in the profit. Just trading single contracts, going for base hits here, folks.
Yeah, you don't need big contract, big position size, and you're putting up big numbers. Over $3,300 with very small size.
Yep, and these amazing. This is copied across 2 XFAs, folks. This is real money that I can withdraw from Topstep. If you didn't know, there's a link here pinned to the chat where you can start trading on Topstep for as low as $49. Get yourself a Combine account. Once you pass that Combine account, you get to trade in an XFA, and on the XFA is where you get to withdraw money from.
Man. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hold on to these guys. I'm honest. We just had broke out through all-time highs, and typically when we see one, we can see some type of continuation. Maybe we see 18,400 break into the 400s, and we're in uncharted territory when we're at all-time highs, right? So we can see a huge continuation. If we see 400, I'll close out one contract in that area.
I like that. I like how you're already mapping out how to manage your risk on this trade. That's a good lesson for traders out there. If you're struggling with locking down P&L, it is good to be trimming your trades when you have when you have profitable trades on.
And yeah, 3 contracts. It's not a big trade size, but it allows me to get in and get out. If I was in one, it would be a lot more hard, right? Because when we get to 400, you're like, if you close out, you can't really trim profits. You just have to close out and be flat.
Yeah, that's the beauty of trading multiple contracts. And if you're having trouble managing your risk on just trading one mini, switch over into the micros and just trade, 4 or 5 micros. You can trim your position very easily there. And 5 micros is half of one mini. They're basically 10 to 1 is the ratio. So 10 micros is equal to 1 single mini. So if you're having trouble managing your risk on trading a mini and you're getting too many oversized losses, switch over to the micros and trade multiple micros and learn how to manage your risk, manage your position. Don't get too crazy and find a risk that works for you. By the way, folks out there, I really appreciate you all tuning in. Please do me a favor, smash that like button below, show your appreciation for Dakota showing up to the stream here. We are pushing up above these 90s now, looking for 97 halves. Looks like we are having a breakout right now in Microsoft and Google to the top side, as well as the S&Ps. The good news is, folks, we have a special guest that is going to be joining us here on stream in about 30 minutes, which I am super excited about. So please don't go anywhere. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dakota, talk to me. What are you seeing?
Real quick, I love this price action. We'll see if we get pushed towards 400. That's a good round number, but I get it. I got an update. Says we're aware of the outage from the CME provider from 8:30 to 8:44 Central Standard Time. The development team caught this immediately and are working immediately to switch over to our backup provider. So there's a great update. I'm no longer stubborn. I'm not looking for shorts, and I'm so happy I finally took a long, and it's working out. Like I said, just close my eyes and just press buy. That's all I needed to do. And here we are. Yeah, this is just interesting.
A quick check
400.
on Delta, folks. Sorry to interrupt, Dakota. Quick check on Delta for you folks out there. The Delta is 10,200 positive in the S&Ps, and over in the NASDAQ, it is positive 3.2K. So 3,200 in the NAS, 10,200 in the S&Ps. That's your Delta update there. So yeah, with that outage, Dakota, that's something that Topstep is addressing right now. They are fixing that issues. Apologies to anybody out there who was having issues this morning. It's one of the worst things to experience as a trader is to have platform issues, but we're getting through it right now. We're making it happen. So just please be patient. And yeah, Dakota, your trade is looking amazing right here.
Yeah, knock on wood, right? Here we go. We're getting close to that psychological level of 18,400. We'll see. I like to, when I get out of a trade, I don't like to just use market orders. I'd use like a sell at ask, getting in, and getting out. I like top ticking, right? Getting in on the uptick, or getting out on the uptick for longs, and vice versa for shorts.
Yeah, speaking of topping ticks here, we did actually just tick that 397 halves level, and that's where we had that first point of rejection. So we did trade to those 397 halves. I didn't hold my trade on all the way to 397 halves. I actually covered into the 90s there. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful trading from you, Dakota, here, holding long and strong and confidence in your position. I do like to see that.
It was just buy, right? Just one of those days. I mean, I should just do that at the open, do it whenever we have any type of a sell-off, buy. That's how it would have been great yesterday, the day before, and whenever that was the play. We did get that rejection, right? Just right at 97 and 3/4. Why that level, Rips? What was so special about that? Did you see a lot of liquidity there, or what are you looking at?
The reality of the situation is that I hit up my friends over at Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs, and I asked them, what is the level that we're going to trade to at approximately 10 a.m.? And they said, hey, Rips, it's 397 halves in the NQ. And I said, great, fantastic. I'm going to add that to my chart. And I said, that's going to happen on March the 8th, right? They said yes. No, so it's a proprietary formula that I developed over about a course of 2 years, and it does involve looking at where liquidity pools are resting, namely in the options chains. And I don't give it out since it's a proprietary formula, but I do provide these levels that you can actually find for free, not in the NAS or in the S&P, but on Thinkorswim, E-Trade, Webull, all of these platforms. It gets published out there once a day. And the levels are published, like for today, for instance, the levels that went out are for SPY, Triple Qs, Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google, Meta, Tesla. So those levels are available for free on those platforms. If you access any of those platforms, you go to the news, then yeah, you can find it there. I also publish the daily levels in Market Clubhouse. And if you're interested in Market Clubhouse, it's a YouTube channel that you can go check out. You can just search on YouTube for Market Clubhouse. That's where I'm trading every single morning before I come over here and trade on TopstepTV. And I'll drop a link in chat for you there. If you're,
I've spent a little bit of time in there, and it's been fun. You catch me in there every once in a while, and yeah, traders are great. That's a great community. We have great community here at Topstep in our Discord as well. And I bounce back and forth, to be honest, and it's fun to have that conversation. It looks like we're continuing to push up. We might see that we just broke thugh that new all-time high.
Beautiful trade there.
Got out of one at
18,400.
Gonna move my stop loss, lock in some more profit. And
nice work.
Yeah.
So you covered one contract there, right?
Yeah, I covered one. I'm still in two. We're going to see if we get high. A lot of times when we see a break of a round number, we get some momentum past it. Very rarely have I seen us hit like exactly 400 and then we turn around.
Right.
Sometimes we can see like 400 and start to see in the teens, like 413, 415, sometimes up closer to the 20s. So the second contract, I'm going to be looking to get out maybe around that area. Like I said, we're in uncharted territory. We just never know how far we could go, and it's hard to just pinpoint because we can't really look to the left and say, we ran into resistance around there. Everything is just honestly just guesswork. We are up, just over 0.75%. We could very easily see a similar day that we seen yesterday. We did have that pullback and that consolidation, as I was mentioning, prior to breaking all-time highs, which gives me that confidence that now that we could see a lot more momentum rather than if we would have broke all-time highs yesterday. So I do have a bit of confidence going into this trade and holding it. because we have a lot more momentum since
we are also gunning on the S&Ps for 5,200, which does give us some pull to the top side. The next level that I have for the NQ here is all the way up at 429 quarters. So I want to see if we actually have any kind of pullback here as we're touching these 410s that I could go into for another scalp here to the top side. There's a lot of liquidity resting up there between 420 and 425 that I think that we will target here, especially since we are lagging the S&Ps below that whole number of 5,200. So I do want to see if we are we're not getting a pullback, so I'm just going to launch it in there. And I will add on any kind of pullback to the 410s there.
I got to have a second contract there as we got into around 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to trail my last contract. So it really is that easy. Just buy the freaking market.
Buy the dip and go for it. That's all you have to do, Dakota.
Don't overcomplicate the trading.
Yeah, don't make this more complicated than it needs to be. Exactly right. So we are looking for potentially hitting these 420 Blazits, and getting above that is 425, and then our level of 429 and 3/4 here. There's definitely some big liquidity sitting up there that we could potentially swipe. Tesla is on the way down, but Nvidia is on the way up here. Microsoft also pushing up pretty strong here. I want to see if I can add into this dip towards these 410s, if it's not too extreme of a dip here. A lot of liquidity resting above these 415s as well. I'm going to add into that for this auction above 415s, looking for 420 now to the top side. Loving your trade here, Dakota. Looks great.
It's not. Yeah, I should have been doing this all day yesterday and this morning, but
if you only knew how easy it was to just buy the dip.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, right? I mean, I try it, and maybe that's a good example of how easy it is to overcomplicate things. And when you do, it usually doesn't work out.
So we did get a dip there that I did add on. I'm looking at these 15s to trade once more. If we have these 15s trading, I kind of want to add into this for a fourth contract up to the 20s. Right now, a little bit of resistance up at these 15s that we have to get through first. So watching up here at these 15s now. Just a little slight resistance, a little slight chop there at those 415s. Do want to add to this if we are holding these 10s. Very quick little scalp up above these 15s. So watching here, this strong auction right through the 15s here. Nice push up to the top side. Seeing if we can get all the way up to these 20s. We already just kind of chopping a little bit sideways here in this consolidation zone. So looking for any kind of dips that I can add on here for this extension through the 15s all the way up to these 20s.
I'm out and flat.
Oh, you're flat now.
$2,500 on that one.
I'm suddenly losing my confidence in the trade if you're going flat.
Paper hands for that. No, it was just profit. I need to see profit right now.
I like that.
I mean, yes, I could have held that, and most likely we're going to break into the 20s, but it was just at that point, you know, I'm just going to close out and wait for another one. So that was more of a mental close, just close, lock in some profit, feel good about myself.
I like that. I did close a couple contracts under the 15s myself there, Dakota.
Nice.
You gave me a lack of confidence in this trade. And I'm out of the last one there. So that brings us up to $3,500 on the day there. So a small scalp. But we are just chopping sideways in this range here, even though I do think that we will entertain this liquidity all the way up through the 20s. It was just you coming out of the trade made me lose confidence. So, you know, I figured that if you're coming out of the trade, that's going to signal other traders, not Topstep traders out here, but just general consensus in the market. I like to have that type of you know, it's nice to have that pulse or that heartbeat of the market, where if you're getting a little bit skittish on the trade there and you're not willing to see it through 420, that means that there's other traders out there that aren't willing to take it all the way up to 420 blaze it and get it all the way up there to the top side, potentially trading 429.75. So that's why I got out of the trade, made a couple $100 there.
Yeah, and this honestly, I got out of that for absolutely no reason though, other than you're like, oh, man, we are seeing a little bit of consolidation, hesitation around here, so. That's interesting. That's an interesting, and that makes sense, Rips.
Yeah, and I mean, we are overextended at this point as well. But I'm kind of eyeing here. I do think that the S&Ps do really want to trade 5,200. We do see a lot of liquidity resting up at those 5,200s right now. So, you know, I do potentially think that we could trade that. The S&Ps, I do see a lot of folks that look like they're. I mean, this is there's a few and far between on the amount of spread that we have here. It's a pretty tight spread, but the volume bands that we have on either side of this spread is pretty loose right now, especially on this extension to the top side. So it can get a little squirrely up here, Dakota.
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback.
Question in chat from Rockin is, Dakota, is this a live account or is this a combine?
This is just a combine. I didn't trade my live account today. Like I said, I need practice. I'm going to be honest, guys. I do need practice. I have not been trading. I've been trading like crap over the past 3 days. So I was taking some losses yesterday and the day before that. It's been an ugly trading on TopstepTV for me. And so practicing, like I said, I need to practice, prepare for some Topstep trading league, and gain a little bit of my confidence back. And I think this is helping. That's why I closed it out, just to say, great trade, just not have a bias, even though it's so hard to buy at all-time highs, right? Where, we're already all the way up here, getting ready to break to new all-time highs. We've rallied so much, and placing a buy is just so hard. But sometimes the hardest trade is the best trade.
Yeah, it's very true. And just for full transparency, Dakota is trading in a combine today. How much are you up there, Dakota?
$2,500.
Very, very nice. So you see my total up here, $3,500. Yesterday we were up, $17,000, $18,000. Only some of that was in my Express funded accounts. This today is only in my Express funded accounts. So that 3,500 total is right here in my Express funded accounts. We always like to be transparent here on TopstepTV. If somebody's not willing to show you the accounts that they're trading in, show you their live executions on a chart, it's very difficult to trust somebody that's going to be hiding that kind of stuff from you. So make sure that you are seeing the accounts, that you're seeing the executions on a chart. Make sure that you're seeing this stuff happening in real time, that it all matches up, because unfortunately this industry is just, it's just ripe with a lot of that nonsense out there. So yep, that's our story today. That's what we're looking at so far. We did just break through those 420s there, Dakota, to the top side, but not only did we get up there, we dipped down below 400 first. So Eddie's Bong in chat, give it up. 420, baby. There it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. We had a little bit of a dip. You just buy it.
Yep, just buy that dip there. So yeah, we are trading above 420. The level that I have to the top side there is 429 3/4. I really am kicking myself that I didn't buy that dip down there at 397 halves, which was our level there. That was a perfect dip opportunity. And now we have gathered the liquidity, which seems like we will be running very, very quickly up to those 5200s now. We are squeezing like crazy. Nvidia is now trading 966. Meta ripping above 523 here. Microsoft comfortably above 410. Microsoft trying to match the NQ today, also hitting 420. Right now, 10 points away at 410 and 20 cents. Google is trading 137. S&Ps are up at 51.91, struggling to make that 5200 benchmark, but the NQ is picking up the slack in the meantime. Amazon also trading at 178.5 right now, and Nvidia is gunning for those 970s to the top side now.
Beautiful. Man, that's such a good looking trade. It's so hard to find areas to buy up here for me. Even on pullbacks. I mean, you can see the 5-minute chart. It's just been, the last 20, 25, 30 minutes has just been rally.
Yeah, it's been a wild market. Here we go. Big liquidity injection here at the quarter of the hour. We do see the market kind of shaking around here. I'll go over to my book map here. This is what I'm watching for liquidity, by the way, is book map. And this is just getting really, really shaky up here. Again, like Dakota had said, it's very tough to trust this type of market when we are overextended like this, because like Dakota said, we're in uncharted territory here, folks. It's really tough to use levels around these areas because we haven't traded in these prices before. We are at all-time highs. It is uncharted territory, but we're also in a situation where we're incoming a contract roll next Friday, which means that inventory is going to be sufficiently lacking in the market participation right now, meaning that right now we're seeing volume on a steady decline. If you map out the volume with a line chart, if you have the volume bars on your chart, map it out with a line chart and you'll see we're making a descending pattern in the volume here. And that's not because that it's Friday. Usually Friday, we should have some volume kicking up here, especially on an NFP day like today. Well, it's because we have people coming out of these contracts and they're just being done with it. So we have people that are closing their contracts and they're not trading them anymore. And like I said, if you're going long in this, you're closing it by selling it. And if you're short, you're closing by buying. So we have a lot of folks that are anticipating the roll next week that are just simply coming out of these contracts and then they're not re-entering, which is what we can see in the descending volume in the tape right now.
And you're sitting up 3,500, right, today?
Yep, 3,500 right there in XFAs, real money.
It's a good Friday. Good Friday today.
Yep, very, very appreciative for the opportunities that we have as traders to be able to do this every single day. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing that, you know, I used to have such a negative interaction with trading. And my first 3 years of trading were very, very difficult for me. And I used to wake up in the morning and hate coming to trade. I've shifted my mindset completely. I've been trading for over a decade now. And my mindset has shifted dramatically where I look at every single day as a gift, an opportunity where I am so grateful that I get to do this every day. I get to share my time with somebody as wonderful as you, Dakota. And we get to sit here and trade the markets, sometimes even in our pajamas if we want. And we really get to, you know, enjoy this. There's not many things in the world where you have the opportunity to do this. Nothing really like trading that I've encountered in my life that gives you this type of opportunity that if you're grateful and you have the right mindset for this and you're patient with it and you're not trying to rush the process, the ongoing reward that you get at a later part in your trading career is uncomparable to anything else out there, in my opinion.
Nope. I agree. I mean, I have a hoodie on right now, but underneath, I'm still in my pajamas. It's comfortable, it's relaxing, and yeah, we do run into hurdles all the time with technology. Obviously, we ran into some technology issues this morning with absolutely everything. Internet, we see MP struggling with internet sometimes. Losses, I've been struggling with losses this week. It's a whole lot better doing it like with yourself, with a trading buddy, with a friend, and with everybody here on Topstep. And these great communities. And sure, we run into the occasional troll and negative comments, which there's constructive criticism, there's constructive feedback, and then there's just this negativity, which there's absolutely no reason for negativity. I mean, if you're that sour about anything, then maybe go find something else to do. We don't need that here. It's okay to vent a little bit. I vented a little bit to yourself and Marie yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was great to just talk through it, talk through emotions. That's the whole point of it. And yeah, this morning was a little bit rough. I was happy to put in a long today, and it was great to see it work out. And now we're starting to see a bit of a sell-off from those highs, and yeah, we'll see.
We did, yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Dakota, but we did see a nice rejection rate at our level here. What was the high of the market there? 429 halves. Our level was 429 3/4. So again, these levels have just been a tremendous guide and a GPS to my trades here. And I've been using them even as we're making these all-time highs. But this is why these levels are just so amazing. Being able to have this reduction mapped out, knowing that that's our trouble zone, knowing that that's where it's potentially has a chance to reverse there. Potentially you could be looking at taking a short there, kind of like what we're looking at these 365s earlier, when we have these topping tails on these candle bars. It's a beautiful thing. And this is, I always use these levels like a GPS to help guide my trades there. So what would bring you back into a trade, Dakota? I am curious.
Yeah, we're at an area where, I mean, we could have a sell-off back down to the 270s, 280s. I don't want to sit here and continue talking about shorts, right?
Right.
But honestly, it's very hard for me to buy the market right now. Even though just close my eyes and buy has been working out. I think I'm gonna wait. Like you can see the 5-minute chart over here on the screen, and this is the main candlestick that I'm looking at. If we do cross below that, which happens to be right around 401.5, I could see some more sell side on this. Maybe just take a quick scalp to the downside. But other than that, I would much rather see a pullback, maybe some consolidation before we have a continuation to the long side. If anything, if not, just wait. Like it's only been like and I've said this every single day, not even an hour. And yeah, we're only going to be streaming. We've only streamed for 3 hours each of these days. But we have a whole trading day ahead of us. Our Friday is just getting started, and yeah, I'm going to look for good trade locations. Not going to give any of this profit back. Controlling risk, even though it's not my live account, I still want to trade it and practice like we trade, regardless of what account we are in. Yeah, I'm going to treat it like real money. So
there's something to be said about that, folks. Using your combines as if they're real money is always what you want to be focused on with your trading, because it makes the graduation from the combine stage to the XFA stage seamless. Because if you were trading your combine with a rushing mentality where you're saying, I want to pass. I need to pass this thing. I'm going to try to pass this in 2 days. I'm going to YOLO this. I'm going to take this as fast as I can. If you do that, you're going to run into an issue, because maybe you do, let's say you do pass and you're very aggressive in your trading and you're somewhat reckless with your trading. Now, let's say you do pass. Now you do get that XFA. Now what? Now what are you going to do? Well, the problem
I just got into a short as well. So just
we'll keep that up on the screen there, Dakota. If you have anything that's breaking with that trade, please let me know. Just interrupt me. But folks out there, if you are trading a combine aggressively and you're not focused on trading that in the same fashion that you're going to be trading your XFA, you're doing yourself a disservice. You should be trading your combine every single day as if it is an XFA, so that when you do graduate to that stage, because you will, with enough time, with enough patience, you will eventually get to that stage. You want to be ready with that XFA to trade that exactly how you have been trading, not modifying your trading plan so it's seamless. I often hear from a lot of folks out there where they say, you know, I can pass combines, but then at the moment I get in my XFA, I'm too scared, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, it's probably because you're doing a different trading style. You're very tight on your XFA and maybe you're a little bit more loose on your combine. So let's try to merge those styles together into one where you're trading exactly how you would on your combine to how you are going to be trading on your XFA. Think about that the next time you're going to open up a trade on a combine. Pretend it's your XFA, pretend it's real money, pretend the reward at the end is a big withdrawal for yourself, and face the markets in that way, because again, it makes that transition completely seamless. Taking a little heat there, Dakota, on that little pop, but that pop is being rejected. They are selling those 415s. What are you looking for here? I did get
triggered in. Man, we'll see. I'm liking this short. We are seeing the resistance. We had that 3-bar reversal, and here we go. Let's see if we could flush below 400.
Yep, that is a big level that we have just tucked below 400 at 397 halves. I did see some questions in the chat here asking how do we get those levels. They're posted to those Thinkorswim, Webull, E-Trade. The equity levels are posted there, but for the futures levels, those are given out to people in Clubhouse. You can check out the YouTube channel there for more information if that's something that you're interested in. I also had a question about what is this stuff behind me on my desk? One moment.
All that memorabilia behind you? Yeah, I mean, I can't really see that well, but
this right here is my favorite. Well. This is a golden rocket ship, and this reminds me to be the best trader I can possibly be. You'll see that this has sort of a countdown timer here. And on this countdown timer, it ends up blasting off this rocket with, we'll see this come to fruition here in a hot second. This is amazing tradertainment here, by the way, folks. It is a little bit heavy, but yeah, there you go. There's that rocket.
Interesting. Okay.
Blasting off to the sky, just like our P&L on the daily there. There we have it.
Just like the market.
Yeah, just like the market, just like the NQ blasting off. And then when one rocket goes, we get another rocket coming right on back there.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Oh, there it's gone. And interesting. Wow. Okay.
So we did auction below 400s there. We did auction so slightly below those 400s. And we did tap that, and it did look very promising, but then we rejected it again. So again, we talked about this at the top of the call here, folks. This is going to be a very tricky market until we get clear directionality. Obviously, we were both catching those moves to the north side here. But this is still looking like it wants to pump. I do think, again, that the S&Ps do really want to trade that 5,200 today. And NVIDIA really hasn't seen that big of a push yet. I understand we are up about 10 points here on today's session. We did have an overnight gap here from about what looks to be, I would say, in that 950-ish range. So, yeah, I do think that NVIDIA has a lot more room there to the top side.
What's NVIDIA trading at, you said?
Currently, it's trading at 966, almost 967 here. But again, those $1,000 calls should give a nice little push here to the top side as long as people keep barreling into those things.
Man, it's so close to 1,000. It's one of those where it's like, it's so close, so close. Yeah,
like Amazon is trading 178 right now. Amazon used to be a stock that traded well over $1,000. So we could see a reverse split here in NVIDIA's future if it gets too pricey. But yeah, we're just chopping in this range here to go to 420 all the way down to 400.
Yeah. I it's just one of those we're kind of hesitating at. I think this has kind of happened to me the last few days where we rally up, we show a little bit of a hesitation. But we haven't got the sell-off. Typically it was a breakout, right? Where I could almost kind of show you those events, and I was taking losses on those trades as well. Yesterday, you guys could see here on the 5-minute where we did see some hesitation, and then we just bounced up, hesitation, bounced, and this is maybe another example. So yes, I'm a little, there is like what you could say scare, fear, shorting the market's always scary, but I just have to follow my trading plan. And as much as
Sorry, I said reverse split. I meant split. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said reverse split. Definitely not a reverse split. NVIDIA is not going to reverse split to $9,000. Don't worry. Sorry. I don't know why I said reverse split.
I didn't even catch that.
It's just one of those things where my mind's thinking about something else and the words just come out of my mouth. That would be hilarious. So NVIDIA reverse splitting to about $10,000 would be wonderful.
Oh man. Then that'd be an opportunity to buy it.
I can't believe I said that's funny.
So yeah, we've done this the past couple of days, but I think maybe I'm not going to say it's me being stubborn. The risk reward is here for me. The setup is here, so I'm going to follow the trade, and then once I'm done trading this week or after that, then I will review my statistics. But as much as I don't want to say, oh, this is the same setup, I've been losing on it, the same setup occurred, I'm going to place this trade. I'm going to make this
Hold
trade.
on, Dakota. Bitcoin just hit a record all-time high, folks. Bitcoin trading all-time high.
Yes. Oh, crypto's been on a
unbelievable
tear.
Congratulations to anybody who is trading trading some Bitcoin out there. By the way, you can trade Bitcoin, micro Bitcoin futures on Topstep as well as micro Ethereum futures. It's $25 a point, I believe, which is insane.
So it looks like I am going to get stopped out here. But yeah, I don't mind these losses. I really don't, as frustrating as it can be.
You remember what we talked about, Dakota? It's buy the dip today.
I know, but it's one of those things when I think I've said this before. Sometimes it could be really, really difficult.
Well, you know what they call the trader's version of beer goggles out there. Those are called bear goggles, and I think you have them strapped on too tight today and yesterday.
Yeah, you're right. But I just, every single time I have a setup that follows my strategy, I just have to take it. In terms of my statistics, I will review this week, and if there is something that I need to adjust, I will. If this was to set up again, I will take it again.
Holy smokes.
We are ripping higher.
It is going crazy here. Yeah, I was hesitant. I really wanted to look at buying that dip there, but yeah, I hesitated a little bit too much. And big rejection there up at 430. What was the high of that candle? 34 3/4. The next level that we have here above 429 3/4 is all the way up at 469 3/4. And believe it or not, we actually do have more levels above that. But if 429 actually holds this auction here, I could be looking at a potential long. Wow, this is just wild here. Apple is finally moving here to the top side. 171 going for 172 here. Wow. Market is going ballistic here. Sorry?
Is NVIDIA running with it as well?
972, 973 on NVIDIA. Everything is starting to pump here. Tesla is lagging, and Meta is lagging a little bit at 520 here. So we are seeing a little pullback here, back down towards those 420s. Market really it just seems like it wants to continue to push here. I am kind of hesitant to jump in here at these highs, but market looks like it potentially wants to push up to our next level, 469.75. It's definitely that day that if you got a really nice entry here off the open down there, I guess if you're able to be prescient enough to catch that 293.25 level down there and just kind of hold that all day, that would be the one. Yeah, I should have never sold, Dakota. The people are telling you should have never sold that long there.
That's all right. If it sets up, I'm going to take it again.
Short or long?
To the short side.
I think that word is now banned in here on the broadcast.
You guys could ban me. I don't mind getting tore apart. You could chew me out and say I shouldn't. So be it. So be it. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I need the practice. I'm following my strategy. And then after I'm done trading, I'll review my statistics. I'll review these trades. I keep a trading journal. And that's just the way it is for me. If I lose, then so be it. And, here I am again getting into the short. So we'll see how this one works out. Stop loss is going to be at the high. This could be another one.
By the way, we do have a special guest with us here now, Dakota. I don't know if you see on your screen.
Oh,
we have Miss Market Stalker D. Good to see you, D. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. May have had a bit too much caffeine today. So, I'm about to jump to warp. That's how wired I am.
I love that.
How are you guys doing today?
So far, Dakota and I both grabbed some nice winnings to the long side. Dakota caught a short here, and it looks like it's working out for him. How about you, D? Any trades so far from you this morning?
So I actually traded crude oil in London. I caught a really, really which was a failed auction from the nice round number 80. And so I ran that down to about 79.28, even though it ran all the way down.
Wow, you almost got that top to bottom.
Yes, exactly. But I don't really like to trade during the overlap. So I just took my portion that I'm happy with. That was in the combines, like I said, because I'm A, it's Friday, B, I'm sort of testing a few things here and there. So, but overall on the day, that's 2.2K up. I do have another trade on right now. It's another short at 78.31. Now, I went in with 2 lots, and then I already cut it at 78.11. So I've already covered a little bit. So if I lose this whole trade net, it's only going to be $100 for me.
Very, very nice.
Right now it's just capital preservation. If this doesn't work out, that's all fine. I still have the other profits. So yeah, it's just a value rejection trade. So I'm looking for a continuation of this move down. We keep trying to knock up against the initial balance low and the value area low and failing. So hopefully at some point we're going to get a bit more follow through to the downside there, even though it is technically bottom of the range on crude oil at 78.23. That's my average daily range low. But the session range low is still plentiful. So we have room all the way down to 77.30. So let's see what happens there. We had the NFP, which is not really a big number for crude oil. But regardless, this looks okay for now. There is a bit of a weekly demand at this level, which did give us a bounce a couple times. But the more times the price knocks against the level, the weaker the level gets. So it kind of has merit that we're going to keep going down. On Fridays, we can also have a trending day. So I don't really want to fight that with like failed auctions. And finally, something against the failed auction long is the fact that we have a fairly small initial balance. So profit margin wise, it's a bit meh. So I'm not really interested in that.
And can you let the people know which account you're trading in, D?
I'm going to be trading just the combines today. So I have 3 combines. Like I said, it's Friday. We don't want to jeopardize live accounts. So it is 3 combines. And so far I'm up 966 in each of those, which is what? About 2.8K.
Nice work there, D.
Beautiful.
Give it up for D in chat here. And again, thank you so much for joining us today, D. I know that you didn't have to. It's great to have you with us here on a Friday. We really appreciate you being here. And I know that the chat loves you being here. So really appreciate that.
I have a question for you, Rips. You were talking about that 25 level in NQ.
Yes.
So I want to know how you got that level. So you were talking about it, but you never really explained why you were looking at that.
Yeah, let me go ahead and bring up the correct contract here on my screen.
Oh,
are we talking about 429 3/4 here? By the way, Dakota, your trade, I want to go back over to your trade. Looking brilliant here, Dakota. 3 long short, looks like you may have top ticked the NQ range here.
Yeah, like I said, you guys could chew me out all you want from being stubborn. I do have to follow my strategy regardless of
how
emotional I feel about it. And yeah, even if I take loss after loss, I could bang my head against the wall. I've been trading for a while. I know the statistics regardless of what the market's doing. And then there's a period of time I do journal my trades. And then after the fact, and after I'm done trading, then I could review. Then I could see if it was me, if it was the market. And if there is something I need to adjust in my trading, then I will adjust. I'm not going to adjust based off of my emotions, based off of my previous trades for that day, or something else. That's just the way I trade, and sure, it might not be the way that you guys could trade. It's really up to the individual trader, right? And you can see we are getting a sell-off, and here we go. I did take up that $400, $500, $600 loss earlier. If I would have lost, I would do it again and again and again. Yeah, so be it. So
yeah,
everybody
this is a tremendous sell-off here. I'm going to try to take this short with you here, Dakota. I'm eyeing 365 quarters to the downside if we can actually trade that. So I'm looking as well to take this short. We do have some liquidity that's right up here at this 88 level, all the way up to about these 90s. I would be looking to add to this to get that flush back down to 365 quarters if we can get that. I might get stopped out here though, as we are kind of having a little bit of an epic bounce here to the north side.
A little bit of an epic bounce.
slight bounce here. We might potentially trade 18,400 again. So I just want to see if we can mitigate hitting that and add into my risk short here if we auction below that. It looks like we do have some big buyers stepping in. So just watching here, managing my risk on this trade. Coming back down a little bit. Can we flush these 90s?
Technically, the auction is failing. The auction is failing on NQ. So usually failed auctions are very, very high probability follow-through setups across the board.
Covering one of my contracts there. Watching here. Nice push down. Beautiful push down here. And out.
It has room to go down.
So that puts us up.
High.
Well, we lost $100. We lost $100 on that scalp.
Oh,
nice work, Dakota. You're holding nice and short there. D, are you still in any trades here, by the way?
Who are you asking?
D, you.
Yeah, I'm still in the short crude oil 78.31.
Okay. I do have a way that you can actually share your screen. There's another room that we have. It's the same password. Let me go ahead and copy the link for you here. Send this over your way, and see if we can get your screen in here as well. That'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, so while you guys are doing that, I mean, it is statistics, right? I tell everybody all the time, I lose 70% of the time, and you guys have been seeing it live. Me lose, loss. And the small percentage, it definitely outweighs the winners or the losses. The small percent winners outweighs the losses, and yeah, so maybe this is a good example. I mean, it's a good example to myself and a great reminder that as hard as the market could be, to just have that confidence in my trading strategy and the statistics that got me here, right?
Yeah, and it does look like you're coming out net on top here, right?
Yeah, I'm up about $4,500 on this on this one. Not this particular trade, but for today.
Beautiful. I'm just getting your screen here, D.
Can you see it?
Yep, that's coming through. Let me go ahead and get this sized appropriately here.
Just trying to smush all the things.
Yeah,
Nice
I got out of
trade there,
one
Dakota.
contract
Beautiful
there.
trade.
There's that.
And let's get that right there. And we'll get this resized here for everybody. Trying to get this all smushed in here. What would be better for you, D? Would you like to have your Topstep X or would you like to have your levels? How does that look for you?
I can swap between them. I can
Okay.
kind of go like this and like that.
We're doing
So
what we can with what we have here today.
Yeah, I was in with 2 lots. Like I said, I cut half of it at 78.11. So I am sitting in a little bit of profit there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's still early for crude oil. And the setup is value rejection. And this, hold on, let me see what you guys can see. Yeah, so this first trade up here, that's the one that I took during London. So that was looking at the failed auction. Let's just go back in time. Sounds like a song.
That probably is. Yeah, back in time.
Yeah, so it failed the auction right around 80. So I thought, right, like literally a couple of ticks underneath it. So I thought to myself, well, we have some daily supply there. And I've been looking at that as a reactionary level from earlier in the week to kind of give me a setup around there. So it came really early for London. Usually I would expect that to happen for the main session, but for some reason they just decided to go on this massive jump off a cliff, and I managed to get 2R. So that's 79.28 is where I took profits, and then it just kept going, and I was like, okay,
it's a beautiful thing when that happens, right?
Yes, it's great, and I wish I was in on that because I initially looked at 79 as my final target and 3R multiples, but because I've had lack of follow through in crude oil for full February, I'm so scarred from entering trades that don't go anywhere. So I was like, you know what? I've got 2R. I'll just, I'll take that. I'll take that. So now what I'm doing, I'm ferociously journaling to see how much follow through I actually have on the trades that I do, whilst taking the statistically viable targets. I'm big on journaling, especially when you run into like a string of losses. So without journaling, it's pointless because all you're doing is just clicking buttons, turning up, clicking buttons, and not really knowing what's working, what's not working. So by journaling, that's like an excellent gauge of progress, at least it is to me, and I find great comfort in that. And then I reviewed previous week's trading, and again, the market started moving, but I wasn't staying in trades. I kept pulling them off early. So that needs to stop. So this is why now I am identifying the setup and just staying with it while still covering some cash to make sure to minimize that downside risk, and then seeing where it takes me. So that's, the only thing we can do really. Is the only thing we have control over. I realized that most of my trades, even when I didn't have follow through, they came to about 24 to 28 ticks profit before turning around. And I typically look for 60 to 70 and even 80 ticks profit on a lot of my trades, right? So seeing that, I was like, well, I need to modify a little bit whilst I'm in this period of slight confidence issue. Like, Dakota, you're the same, right? So you're at a combine doing the same thing. So effectively, what I'm doing is just giving myself a peace of mind. So it's like I'm going to take a little bit off using my stats, knowing that I have that first move away. We call it the maximum favorable excursion,
MFE.
But I'm just using MFE. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to scare anyone with too much terminology, but it is a very useful measure, especially if you're trying to determine where you should cover. And for me, that was the first move away. So I actually went back to see how many times those trades went into profit, and 95% of them reached that. So it's like, okay, that's where we cover, right? So I'm just kind of testing that out, and it's been working pretty beautifully for now. So if I'm comfortable with that in another couple of days, then I can go back to trading live, but the objective is to actually get more XFAs, because my XFA actually got transferred into my live, which I wasn't really expecting at the time. So now I just want to get a few more XFAs to have them on the back burner. But yeah, this particular trade, it is Friday. Friday has statistically a higher chance of turning into a trending day. We're sitting below the initial balance and below the value area. That's a pretty good sign that the buyers are not stepping in just yet. So I'm keeping an eye on it, but at the same time, not freaking out, just letting the trade play out. So we're going to see what happens and what prints.
Can you talk a little bit more about the failed auction? Because I know people were asking about that. I'm just going to go over to Dakota's screen while you're talking about that.
So the failed auction involves looking at the first hour of the trading range for the regular trading hours or any active session that you're currently looking at. And what constitutes a failed auction is when one of the subsequent 30-minute candles after that first hour gets out of that range. So it breaks away from that first hour trading range and then comes back into it, thereby closing the 30-minute candle back inside. And, they tried to get out, they couldn't find business, and they come back into the range. So that's effectively a very high probability trade. Obviously, there are subtleties and nuances to what makes it more successful. Ideally, if you have some kind of a larger time frame level there, that will obviously enhance the setup. So if you're just in the middle of nowhere and you're looking at a failed auction, well, it might work. Maybe. But the statistics go massively in favor when you're at a swing extreme of some sort. It can be 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, doesn't matter. As long as you have that slightly larger time frame on your side so that you're not, seeing the forest for the trees and just staring at, failed auction in the middle of nowhere, whilst all the institutions are going, well, we rejected this massive supply where we had inventory before, and we're going over here where we have a lot more inventory. And you're like getting caught up in the middle. So, you would try not to do that. So that's why trade location is very good. So failed auction is just kind of like a means of an entry intraday. But it doesn't have to mean, this is like something that you take whenever you see it. So the more you can stack your levels where something important should happen, Hogue calls them inflection point.
Inflection points.
That's it. You're so much better than that. So yeah, if you can match and stack your levels with the failed auction setup, that will serve you pretty well.
Thank you so much for that explanation, Dee. That was incredible. Yeah. That was so nice. Dakota, please, the people want to know. Please talk us through your trade. The people are chomping at the bit for this.
It's really boring. I know I'm seeing that. Nothing's happening for me. I'm just giving the market room to run. I closed out one contract down here around the mid 60s. I moved my stop loss to just above 400. You guys could see that here below this 5-minute candle, and I'm just gonna let this thing run. I mean, it's like everyone's asking, is there a secret? Like, how do I manage a trade? What's going on with my trade? I'm like, nothing's really going on. The same thing. I'm going to trail this down until it stops me out. I've already closed off one contract for take profit. Sitting in about $4,500 total today, and like I said before, this isn't live money right now. This is simulated. This is how I would trade. This is exactly how I would trade my live account, though, and just giving the market room to run. I've got into a position, and like you guys always hear me say, regardless of what my opinion is, I have to trade my system. I have to trade my strategy and the way I trade the market, knowing that statistically over the long run, there's a positive expectancy. And as much and as hard as it has been to take loss after loss after loss, then I just have to do it again. And let me show you what I'm looking at a 100 tick chart. So here's a 100 tick chart. You can see where I move my stop loss above these pivot points on the 100 tick chart. And now I'm going to actually just move my stop loss again above this pivot point on the 100 tick chart. And I'm going to continue to do that until I get stopped out. I'll let the market tell me when it's done. If I come back up and get stopped out, yeah, I'm going to give back an extra 20 points, which is fine. But if we can continue to sell off, so be it. I'm already in a risk-free trade. in the money, and yeah, I'll just let this trade play out. I'm happy with. Now I'm at about $5,000. If we do get another sell-off, I will close out another contract. If we get a push down towards like the 320s, maybe 330, to close out of another one, and then yeah, maybe this is a good example. Just like a stop loss, right? Where we're trying to cap our losses. We want to close out of trades before the losses get too big. I kind of feel that way sometimes about the take profit. It's just capping your profits to where if the market does have a nice sell-off, I'm positioned into a great opportunity to just take advantage of it. Will it continue to sell off? Maybe, maybe not. Will it stop me out? Maybe, but
perchance, you never know.
you just never know.
Right.
The best thing we could do is just trail it, like you see me doing it on this 100 tick chart, and continue to lock in profit. And here we go. Like I said, a day like today would honestly account for this entire week. Yeah, bad loss for pretty much the last 2 days, and then I just have one good trade. Not like it's revenge trading, it's statistics, right? When you have a low win percentage, but you have a great risk reward where you're risking $500, $600, $800 on a trade setup, then the winner is 4,000 or 5,000. That's statistics, right? And math does not lie. Just like I kept giving the analogy of flipping a coin, you just have to know, no matter how many times you keep getting heads and you're betting on tails, and it's 50-50, the statistics are still going to be 50-50 the very next flip. And that's kind of what we've seen play out here today.
Yeah, I mean, really, like you said, it doesn't matter how many times you get heads if you're not blowing your load, and if you're, if you can get the profit target that you're looking for, that's generally what you're looking to do in your trades, right? You're going for that profit target.
Yeah. Yep.
Another follow-up question: people are asking what platform you're trading on there.
NinjaTrader 8, but I'm switching to Topstep X. And it just did get me stopped out, but yeah. So about $4,800 on today. But NinjaTrader 8 is what you guys see, and I am switching to Topstep X. So I'm practicing in Topstep X. I'm testing Topstep X out. I want to make sure that I have the confidence and I have the know-how to do all that. You guys see that, it's not Topstep X 100% of the time. There's always some kinks to get worked out. There's always things behind the scenes. The team's always working and improving. Topstep X is what, a month old or something? Mm-hmm. It's not very old. And yeah, so it's with anything when you transition, it takes time. NinjaTrader 8 is my platform of choice. That's what I've been used to. That's what I've been trading for a very long time. As I start to transition, yeah, and we're going to continue to see amazing improvements on Topstep X from what I've been able to see. Yeah, so this is not a promotion for Topstep X, but it really is a platform that was built by traders for us, and we have a great opportunity as a community to add these new features that will help us as traders, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a learning curve. It's going to be a learning curve for me. I'm not a professional on the platform, and it's going to take me time till I feel 100% confident placing like my trades, my live trades. But that's the great thing about a platform again, right? Where I don't have to risk my own money to trade and to have a live account on a new platform.
Right. Deanna, some people were asking in the chat, I'm going to go back to your screen. Some people were asking in chat, where do you get your statistics from? They were very interested in that.
My own tests. So
that's what I figured.
Yeah, that's like 11 years of tracking, doing things. I can also do some coding in Python. So what I do, I kind of put my levels and my setups, and then sometimes I will run little tests, like very simple tests that just kind of counts how many times a certain very simple reversal would have happened from the particular area or a particular price or a zone. And sometimes it's a mix of just me visually going back and looking at what actually happened. Other times it will be just me kind of looking at the actual level through the statistics and the little algorithms that I've got. So it's literally just my research that I keep doing. I keep collating things. There's never like any end point. By the way, I did get stopped out of that, so I took a little loss there. So now on the day, it's 1.9K.
Great.
So just under 2K. And now we sit and wait. So there's no setup now. So the statistics that I talk about, it's always to do with my own research, my empirical evidence, knowing. So the trading is a very subjective thing a lot of the times. But by looking at what the market did at around a particular price and then just trying to take advantage of that, that's just looking at the market state. It's not putting your emotions into it. And for me, that's step one. Does a level that I'm looking at work reliably enough with the frequency that occurs enough, if that makes sense? Because I don't
100%.
want to use a level that like works 90%, but you only get it twice a year, because I'm an intraday trader. So therefore, I want levels that generally work about anywhere from 50 to 80% of the time. And sometimes the setup is unplayable. What do I mean by that? It means that the price action around it is so messy that there's no good way to actually take advantage of that trade. And that's also okay. But it doesn't mean that the setup didn't work. It just means that as a trader, I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of it. But the setup is still there. So, we have to like marry all of those little nuances. But the statistics itself, it comes from my own tests from, initially it was just journaling and me kind of doing the walk forward thing where you would show up, use a level, journal it, and then just collate it in some kind of a trade analytics platform. Before it was Trader View, back in the day, VUE. Now we have TradeZella, we have EdgeWonk, we have a whole bunch of other platforms, and they do it, very nicely and very aesthetically pleasing. But back in the day, you didn't have all of that, so you had to do a lot of the spreadsheet stuff, and I was the spreadsheet queen at one point. So I just doing a little bit of manual back testing, even if you just go back visually to see what happened around your levels, that's going to help you a lot. But like I said, my own statistics, they're a mix of a whole bunch of things, my experience, my observations, actual statistical tests on the levels that I know work pretty well, and ultimately just stuff that we've kind of coded over the years and just dragged out some numbers out, like 2R multiples. That is a target when you're using 30 to 35 ticks, gets hit most often. That's like a very valuable piece of information. Well, the reason why a lot of traders use 2R, because anecdotally they've realized that's the take profit target that works for them most frequently, right? Well, I wanted to go a step beyond and just to prove that that is really correct numbers wise. So we actually had, like a few years back, I think it was probably about 6-7 years ago now, we had some algorithms that did tell us that that was indeed true. So that is the risk reward that I use most frequently. My stop losses will be adjusted by the volatility of the product that I'm trading. So that's not necessarily always static, but it is within like a 30% margin. So I don't like to change my stop losses too much, because then you have to change your positioning size as well. So, a lot of things to think about. It's not rocket science, but there's just like a little components here and there that you have to think about.
Yeah, and as you're talking, I'm thinking about one single thing here. It's just how difficult trading is when you start to bring up all these different key points that come in. This is why there's no manual to trading. This is why there's no one right way to trade. This is stuff that you've collected throughout the years of your career, is it not?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you're talking. I started trading in 2007, but that wasn't like, I had no idea what I was doing. The real serious stuff was 2008 and onwards. So there I started, gathering statistics, journaling, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and having an idea of a good trading location versus a bad trading location. So because of all of that, it just seems like I have so much information, but it's just time. That's all it is. It's just 16 years of me staring at this stuff day in, day out and journaling. That's what you get.
Yeah. 100%. Dakota, are you looking at any trades here as we are coming back up to the north side here? We did just almost tag 18,400. We've been testing at that level in the NQ. I don't know if that's been interesting to you at all, as we've been kind of tapping into that. That's where I caught, by the way, I'm up $3,900 on the day now. I did catch a couple more shorts as our wonderful guests here were talking. But Dakota, what are you looking at here? As we're coming up to that 400 level and we keep on rejecting, is that sort of an entry that you look for to the short side here? Because a lot of people here in chat love the way that you trade, and I just kind of want you to wax on about how you've been. What would you look for in a scenario like this? Or is there even a scenario that you're looking for there?
You can see my hands are behind my head. Actually, that was actually a great short rips. Like that, kudos to you. We rallied right up there. And immediate rejection. You can see it on the 5-minute candlestick on my chart, that wick. I am still hands off in profit for the day. I'm going to follow. There is actually a trade setup. The trade setup for me would have been the cross of right there, that 3-bar reversal. We had that bearish candle. As soon as we crossed below that
would you mind walking us through? Sorry to interrupt. Would you please mind walking us through what is that 3-bar reversal? I think folks would love to see that.
Let's look at this. Let's explain this a little bit better, because I have two charts. I have a 100-tick chart and I have a 5-minute chart. And that was a beautiful trade. Oh, well.
The hesitation, always the killer.
Now we're getting the shorts are getting paid, and here I am not shorting. We had the sell-off, right? And then here's the rally. And then this is that wick on the 5-minute chart. And as soon as we crossed below that, that is kind of almost, it's like a confirmation that we could get another move to the downside. But then if we look at it at a 100-tick chart, we could see the price a little bit better. So we see that this rally up, we could see the pivot points a little bit more accurate. And then I can actually get in at a little bit better of a price. And then as soon as we take that sell off, then the entry would be here. The take profit would be down here at these previous levels. And then maybe let one ride, see if we could push below, the 40s, which it's looking pretty likely, 100% my opinion, that we break down below 50 and beyond. So that being said, let's go. We're doing it. I'm going to just put a one contract on to see if I can catch a run down below 50.
I like that trade, Dakota. I'm going to join you on that one. I would like to see that run down to 50 as well.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on the 100-tick chart just so you guys can. This is a pure scalp.
I covered that too there, right there. Tuck below the 50s brings me up to 4,000 on the day.
Yeah, I think we could see 20s.
Wow, there we go.
Yeah, we might even see 300.
Beautiful. Hey, there you go. And that just shows same idea, two different trading styles right there.
This is three different trading styles. So
exactly. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Did you take that trade as well, D? Are you looking at?
No, I don't trade NQ, especially not at this time of day. If I do trade it, I will trade it towards the last hour. I find it way too volatile for my liking and my heart. I am an old woman, guys. Just keep that in mind. I look young, but yeah.
I would guess you're 35.
43, but thank you, mate.
You're never supposed to.
Okay, here we go. And one more push down. I'm gonna get out of this. Let's see if we could get that a nice little push down and get out at the bid. Because I want to be getting out at the bid. Then I'm short. We'll see. And I'm out. Okay.
Very
there you
nice.
go. There's another quick, $500-600. So $5,300 on this simulated account. There's that trade.
How old are you?
Guess. Let's see. Let's put you.
We are really flushing
you're
down
one
now
of those
here.
faces. You can
NVIDIA
be
is
like
hitting the floor here, by the way.
28, or you could be like 40. So I just can't tell. I know that you're not that young because of the way you talk, because you can tell a lot by the way people talk. And you talk like an old man sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, back in the day when I worked in a coal mine.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I am a workaholic. I don't have much of a social life growing up. I was always a nerd, and stuck to trading and my education. And the people I did hang out around was a much older group. To give you in terms of the older group, I was like a young teenager, and I was on a bowling league and then like a dart league, hanging out with like these older group of guys. And then of course working in the coal mine with a bunch of old guys. Yeah, that's just kind of the way I was brought up through that older environment, and less of the partying and all that. I if you guys believe this or not, I've never been drunk.
Wow, that's impressive.
Really? Yeah,
I've
that is
never
impressive.
been drunk. I've
Wow.
never went to any big rave party. And that's the truth. I mean, the worst and the craziest thing I've ever done was, man, I haven't really done anything too crazy.
I think Rodney in here says you're lying. You were drunk off Dayquil the other day.
Well, no, that's different, right? That's like taking medicine and not feeling well, and
that's not partying and doing recreational stuff. It's like not feeling well and trying to make yourself feel better, right?
Yeah, that's the closest you guys would probably ever see me to doing it. Even though I do go to Vegas a lot and I play poker, I don't drink. That's the reality of it. But everyone tell me I'm an old soul. I don't have a lot of younger friends. My closest friend is probably in their 40s. Same with you, Rips. You're I'd consider a friend, a trading buddy, and you're on the older side compared to like not a young 20, not going to go out and go party. If anything, a nice, fun weekend for me is relaxing at home.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And getting sleep.
Yep, I'm the exact same way. I put health as a priority before anything. By the way, did just scalp another little bit short there for another $200, but
we hit that 300 mark.
We did. That was your target there, Dakota. That was your target.
Yep.
And
I will 90% failed auction finished. Now we have rotated through the first hour of the trading all the way down almost to the end, and that's what the failed auction setups are.
Yeah. And
by the way, guys,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Deanna's explanation of the failed auction came exactly to fruition there. So, folks, if you missed that, go back and watch the stream at a later time. Deanna was dropping amazing golden nuggets there.
Thank you.
So, big update. I just got an update behind the scenes. It was also posted on our Topstep Discord. Topstep X update. And this kind of just echo what I was telling you early that I got. Topstep is aware of everything that was going on and the issues that impacted Topstep X traders this morning. If you were affected by this issue has currently been resolved. Please reach out to our Topstep support team for that support. So yeah, great. I loved it. Topstep takes care of you guys. Topstep take care of us. We are traders and they will take care of us. So figured I could throw that update out there because that just came across my line.
That's awesome. That's great news, and I expected nothing less. I was never had a doubt, and that's why I was willing to say, Topstep will always make sure that everybody is made whole. We have Spencer Rhodes here in chat. Spencer just said they got $150K funded. Congratulations to you there, Spencer, making it happen today, trading a $150K combine, getting funded today. Congratulations to you. You're doing what most people can't do out there, which is the game of trading. Very, very difficult game that we play here every single day. So hats off to you. Dee, I'm going to switch over to your screen. Anything that you're looking at over in Crude here as we are kind of bottoming out?
Failed auction.
Yep, exactly right.
So I'm trying along here at 78.34 was my entry. So we're going to see if we can get a little bit of traction here, but I just want to take that half off as well via limit order somewhere.
I'm going to take a quick restroom break, so I'm just going to move you, D, over my screen here if you want to continue chatting it up.
Yep. So I'm just going to cover a little bit here because, like I said, I'm just want to make sure to keep that downside risk on my side. But we do have a failed auction in crude oil. Now it's a little bit messy because it went 3 times below the initial balance here. But so far, this area is proving a little bit difficult to get through, which is why I'm going to attempt a failed auction. Now, again, this is a combine, so I'm doing some trades that maybe I would not do in my life because I'm testing things out and I'm just kind of seeing how the market behaves and how much follow through I can get from the setups that I'm choosing to take. So this is why I'm in this. If I had one big trade that went to like 3R in the, like previously, I would usually just walk away in the live. I wouldn't keep trading because I made my money. That's it. let's go do something else, right? So we don't have to keep trading. And one of the great things about the way Dakota trades is the fact that, you can sleep. You just go to sleep and you don't overmanage, right? That's that's an awesome way to do it. I can't really sleep while I trade, and if the trade is still open, I definitely need to keep tabs on it. So I'm actually finding that my focus is a little bit all over the place here. So hold on, let me just see where the
And to answer your guys' question, I turns out I didn't give you guys an answer. I am 30 years old. I just turned 30.
Okay.
All right, we are back
Younger
here.
than I thought you were. I'll be.
Wow, what a flush! This is crazy.
Yeah. How old did you think I was?
I thought you were about mid-30s just because of the way you talk. But now that you said that you had older friends and you were always with an older crowd, you're a pretty mature guy. It does make sense.
I feel old. I feel 30s.
No, don't feel old.
I went and I did a spa date.
You're just a rat.
I went and got back massage, a facial, and the whole thing. And man,
I'm closing this. By the way, my
so
focus
old.
is just not there now. I've been awake since it's coming up to 10 hours already. So I closed that trade and I'm waiting. That was scratched, by the way.
Very, very nice there, D. Going back to your screen, Dakota, anything? Go ahead. Sorry, D.
Tell us more about the spa date.
No, that's what I said. I found a new love for spas in terms of just taking care of myself and focusing on my health. Right, it's something that I think that so many people I've talked to, especially around my age or even younger, that's the last thing that you think of, right? I have a lot of friends that puts their body they put their body through so much, and they don't think about it until after it's too late. That's kind of how I was doing boxing, doing a lot of these physical sports. And now it's starting to feel like, man, I should have taken care of my body a little bit better. I'm only 30, and I know that I do have a great opportunity to continue to take care of my body because that's one thing that we're going to have forever. And even though I'm a trader and I sit at my desk so much, I do have to find myself and push me to be more physical because we live a sedentary lifestyle as a trader.
Yep, very well said here. So I'm still looking to short this. I want to see our level of 261 breaking to the downside here on the NQ. Are you looking for anything to the short side here, Dakota, at all?
I want to go long.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking. I'm going whichever way the market doesn't want to go. I'm fighting the trend. No, I think I'm just going to wait a little bit. No trades. I'm up $5,300. You guys could see it here. Just paper money, right? Simulated environment. I wish this would have happened in my live account, of course, but no, I think it's been a really great day for me so far. Just in terms of a confidence builder, a understanding that, man, even though, and I told everybody earlier, I don't mind you guys ripping me apart. If you guys don't agree with my trade, that's okay.
It's okay to have different perspectives on trades.
That's part of trading, and I actually love the fact that this trade worked out really well. Where are you guys at? Shout out to the chat if you guys are still here. Let me know. Let's see who is here talking trash about that short. But in all reality, that's part of trading. You could imagine in the pits, not everybody had the same bias. Some traders were down money, some traders long. There were no friends in the pits. And
they say.
This is, so they say. But this is like a virtual pit, right? We're all together. We're all trading together. And this is the pit. We're not buying and selling from each other. But it's a great confidence builder, knowing that, I get it, that 70% of my trades are going to be losing. And this was on that smaller percentage, and it was good. So happy to end the Friday like this.
I like that a lot there, Dakota. Very well put.
Yep, absolutely. Okay.
So I just closed up my trade there. I was trying to take that short. Took a little bit of a loss, down to $3,600 now. Was trying to short those lows, but adding into those pops.
Nicely managed.
Thank you so much. So
And we
yeah,
came
just
right
looking
back
again
down
here.
to
We
the
did bounce
non-farm payroll.
very specifically here at that level of 261. I was looking for that level to crack. If we are weak into these 293 quarters, I would be looking at taking another short here. So just kind of seeing if we can have any kind of weakness in this pop. We did have NVIDIA drain all the way down to 920, but it had an aggressive bounce to those 920s there. Go ahead, Dakota, you were saying?
We're kind of right back down to where we started the non-farm payroll, right?
Right. I am back short again here looking for this flush because we did reject those 293s pretty heavily. Very nice pull here to the downside, looking for these 80s to give out down. And very nice pull to the downside here, covering that there. Beautiful.
Great.
So we are back up $4,000.
Beautiful.
Just
Man,
scalping
trading's
around
so much
here.
fun when you're with a trading partner. It is.
It's the
It
best.
is
Yeah.
just
Just being able to talk through the strategy and what you're thinking and stuff, it's really invaluable. That's the thing that I miss about prop firms, just sitting next to somebody who you can talk things through. They're looking at a similar market. You know, the fact that Topstep TV exists now, it's so cool. I'm so pumped to be here, you know, and just being able to talk shop every day.
Yeah, it's a
'Cause, you know,
beautiful
with
thing.
with regular people, you're trying to talk trading, and all they want to know is, "Oh, did you make money or not?" And it's like, well,
What'd you
no,
make today?
shut up.
Uh-huh.
Like what? And I actually had somebody who was in one of the bands that I was with, because I was a session musician for many years.
Awesome.
And we're sitting on a plane, and she's like, "Hey, you know, so what do you do like when you're not a musician? I heard something to do with the markets." And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm a speculator of futures markets and blah, blah, blah. So I kind of go into this big story about what I'm doing. And I probably chatted for about 30 minutes. And then she seemed like she was very interested, and she even asked a few questions. But at the end of that, at the end of my monologue, she just goes, "Yeah, I'm still not sure what it is that you exactly do." So I was like, okay, I'm done.
It's a real blessing to be sharing the stage with both of you today on a Friday, and I love to be trading alongside of like-minded folks, and especially all you folks here in chat. I'm seeing a lot of you folks posting your trades in here. It's a beautiful thing. We are flushing below that 261 now in the NQ. This is an area I'd like to see for a potential failure. I'm going to try this short again here, given that we are auctioning kind of weak below these 261s, getting a nice pull down here. I want to see if we can get to that 250 mark. And there's that 250 covering right there. So adding a little bit more to our total, we're up $4,300 now.
Man, if only I held my short from 420.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You knew it there, Dakota. You knew that one.
Yeah,
so
it
level
just
below
stopped me out.
261, somebody's asking 224 halves is the next level we have on deck here.
Well, here's the thing: is there are times where I would still be holding that. You guys, you could see my screen, and I did get stopped out on this move. But if this move didn't happen, then I would still be trailing my stop loss down. If this was my stop loss, then I would be trailing it on these pivots on the 100 tick chart here, 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 and here. And I will do that for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, when I was doing it, this move stopped me out. But if it didn't, then yeah, this is an opportunity where, hey, no take profit. I'm not going to cap my winner. And I would just trail this all the way down. Sometimes if we have a nice trending day and I get into a good position and I take advantage of it, you know, kind of the opposite of yesterday. If I was in a long and I was doing the same thing, yesterday would have been amazing to trail the longs.
D, you look like you want to say something here. Are you short Crude?
Yeah, I think no, guys. It looks like crude oil is going through some news, but I can't see anything yet on financial juice. Do you have anything?
Yeah, Ukraine foreign Min Kuleba calls on partners to deploy military trainers in Ukraine. That is the latest news that I have that's related to oil here breaking.
Yeah. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's a news related event.
Yeah, CL just hit the floor here. And NASDAQ's unwinding too as well. Our next target here to the downside is 224, but you can see we are popping aggressively on these moves to the downside, which is, it makes this increasingly difficult to trade, especially if you have a very tight stop. I haven't taken any trades. Again, remember, if it says flat above my head, it means I'm not in a trade. If you see a red number, it shows you how many contracts I'm in. Red is short, green is long, and the entry shows my average price entry over there.
I'm long crude oil.
Very nice, Dakota. Can we go to your screen here and see that? There it is.
Yep, you could 5 minutes or this is a 60-minute chart. Let me show you the 5 minute. I'm a crude bull. I've been a crude bull. And here's why I got long. We've showed some support here around 70s. I've been looking for a great area to get in long. And I was looking at the 60-minute actually. And we could see here's the 60-minute chart. It's been going up and to the right. We've been kind of consolidating in this trend. And sure enough, we're down here. I've been looking for an opportunity to get into a long to see if we could rally up above 80. This is something that I am definitely going to hold for a longer period of time. It's not a quick in and out trade. And I am going to be building a position of this. I would love to get into, 3, maybe even 4 contracts, but we came back down. This is around March 5th. We did make a pivot low. If we do start to sell off, I am going to say I will add into this position as we start to sell off. Some might look at this and say catching a falling knife. To me, it's I want to build a position to take advantage of a bounce higher. We are down pretty big for the day on crude oil right now as well.
Also, I do believe that NVIDIA did just go red on the day here.
Ooh.
Yeah, NVIDIA now trading 915. We made highs of 970s, folks, in NVIDIA. So what we probably saw there was a lot of profit taking in those calls. However, we do see some upside pull from Apple and Google right now, which is causing a small little bounce here in the NQ. Not so small. I mean, we bounced from 235 up to 270, so not super small, a 35-point bounce. But this is what I was talking about earlier, is that when you're trying to short a market like this, it makes it increasingly difficult if you're not quick with your entries and exits, because these bounces can take you out if you don't have an extremely loose stop. And if you're going to be shorting these areas or even longing these areas, you have to respect that we're in a range that can whip around 30, 40 handles. And if you're not trading this tight and you didn't get a higher or lower entry on this, you run the risk of being stopped out. So just exercise caution. D, back to your screen. Any trades or anything that you're looking at here?
I'm looking at 77.30 as my level of interest for potential longs. The reason why, that's the average session low. And from what I remember, I think there was some demand somewhere. I'm just trying to see which. So we had, I think it's a similar area that Dakota is looking at, but we do have a larger 4-hour demand zone right there that encompasses the both the 77.50 and 77.30 level. So if I do get some kind of a reversal there could be a long, but it's a little early in the day for me to look for reversals on crude oil after the failed auction. Long failed. It's a failed auction. So now technically we're looking at a rejection of value, and until I get that statistical average exhaustion on the session range, I kind of don't want it. It's not really a good area for me. It could bounce here, don't get me wrong, especially with news that kind of comes into focus and then the focus dilutes and then everybody buys it back up. It has happened. But I just prefer to, again, stick to my times of day when I know that reversals happen statistically in crude oil, which it's not really going to be on the cards for another 90 minutes or so. So for me, I'm going to sit and wait, see what happens.
I like that. I like that approach, being very, very patient, waiting for the price to come to you. And you're dictating the control of the trade in this case versus the market's going, you're just jumping in. And, I love that approach there, D.
Yeah. If I'm already in a trade and it goes my way, I will obviously book profits. But I wouldn't just kind of hold it just for the sake of it because we had a big move. And I'm not one to jump into trade. It's been a very, very long time since I saw a red candle and then just jumped in.
Yeah, well, I cannonballed. I plucked my nose, dumped in.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that trade. We're on your screen now there. Dakota, can you walk the people through your trade, what your levels are that you're looking for, potential stops, TPs? Let's walk through that.
Yeah, so I mean, here's a 60-minute chart. It's a bit higher time frame. And like I said, we are in a channel. So here's the channel that I'm looking at. I'm a bull in crude oil. And I want crude oil. Or what I'm thinking, my opinion, is $80 a barrel and to hold above $80 a barrel. And I've been looking for the market to sell off. I've been wanting the market to sell off to be getting into a long opportunity. I actually got into a couple long positions in my personal account. Right now, what you're seeing is it's the same account I've been trading on the NASDAQ, but I'm also in a personal account over here that I am pretty much an identical trade. My personal account, I'm in at 77.62. This one, it looks like I'm in at 77.67.
Same amount of contracts or
same amount of contracts,
Got
three
it.
contracts. And I'm actually, all transparency, I'm working with some options as well.
New session lows, by the way, on NQ here. New session lows.
Beautiful. But that's it, right? We sold off. We're down into this level that we were in March 5th, and this is an hourly chart. And I'm looking for some type of a bounce. We were down like, over almost 2.5%. And to me, we have a good possibility. This is a good risk reward trade where, at worst case scenario, if we do start to break down these lows, I could just get stopped out on this account where I could take risking about $600 to make probably 3R on this one, 2 to 3R. We'll see. And like I said, here at Topstep, we can't hold trades overnight. It's Friday as well. Oil regular session closes at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Correct, D?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Central Standard Time. Yeah, so it's 2:30 EST. Yeah, which is 1:30
Beautiful.
Central. Yeah.
We did just bounce, by the way, exactly at our 224 halves level. The low print on that was 224.25. So we bounced right there at that clubhouse level, specifically right there.
So what do you look at when you're calling those levels?
So I want to have interaction with those levels. And if I'm looking for a breakdown in the price, generally speaking, I'll go to the 1 minute here so we can get a little bit more granular. But what I'd be looking for is a break below that level, a retest, and then taking that short to our next level, our next target here. We have a very powerful channel that's nestled here between 147.75 and 166 evens. If we do have a break below this level, a retest, I would be looking at that short for a potential target there to the downside. Conversely, if we have a push down, a retest above, we could potentially be auctioning back up to that 261 level. So it's an extremely volatile session right now. We have an infinite bleed from Nvidia going on right now. Tesla's starting to fade very heavily. We have Microsoft and Meta that are coming down. What's very interesting is that Apple has been just so weak lately, but we're seeing that finally catching a bid today while everything else is fading. S&P is also auctioning towards that 5160 level. So a lot of volatility in the session today. Again, I am looking for this potential breakdown of these 224 halves, which we just see here, and looking to see if we actually have confirmation down through that level. So looking for a potential weak bounce towards that level. And wait, we lost you. There we are. So looking for a potential weakness through that level where we could catch this to the short side here. But right now we are showing a tremendous amount of bid support. So I'm probably going to be hands off there. Dakota, how's that oil trade looking?
So far so good. Oil's one thing because we don't have the same volatility as the NASDAQ. And it's only $10 per penny. So it's not the same risk. And typically if I get into 3 contracts on the NASDAQ, I look for a little bit bigger of a position on crude oil because we're not as volatile and the price per tick is a bit lower. So I'm in 3 contracts now. So far, it hasn't given me an opportunity to add to it. But if we consolidate and we see a better reversal pattern, here's the 5-minute chart. Maybe we consolidate more. And if we do, and we start to maybe break through some of these 5-minute highs to test above $78 a barrel, I could add to this position, build a nice position going into the noon o'clock hour for oil.
Yeah, we are coming towards the bottom of the hour. Euro close is less than 2 minutes. We are breaking below that 224 halves level in the NQ. I did miss the setup there on that trade, but that is a beautiful breakdown of that level. Great flush down there. We are seeing Nvidia bleeding below 910. Again, we have room down to 166 here. We did just go lower than the NFP print lows. So I do want to see if I can catch some continuation to the downside on this trade here. We want to see 200s really show some weakness here to the downside. If 200s are weak, again, we have room all the way down to those 160s here. But we do have some liquidity stacking up at these 205s. So just seeing if we have more bleeding there in Nvidia. Testing these 200s now to the downside here. Nice flush through the 200s. Can we have continuation? Very nice here. A little bit of resistance there just below 200s. I'm actually going to cover right there. So that puts us up to $4,600 there on the day.
Excellent.
I did just move my stop loss on crude. My stop loss now is below that 5-minute pivot, 77.54. So only risking about 13 ticks. yeah, so good risk reward. This thing could run if we can catch $78 a barrel. I like to see it hold. We do have some resistance there.
Beautiful trade, Dakota. It has to be said. Beautiful trade.
So this is one I took in my personal account as well. So,
what target are you looking at in Crude?
It's going to be the same thing I do on the NASDAQ. I'm going to let this thing run, and I might close out one or two if we do get up into like 78.20s, and then trail the other two going into the oil close.
Okay, cool.
So big test coming up here on NVIDIA. We are trading 904, spot 94 right now. We're hovering right around that 905 level in NVIDIA. There's going to be a lot of stops perched below 900 in NVIDIA, meaning sell stops. So we could see some big unwind here in the NQ coupled with NVIDIA. Also, we are seeing the S&Ps trading towards that 5150 mark. We didn't auction all the way up to 5200. Instead, we had a failed auction up there. And it is kind of coming back down now towards that 5150 mark. So if it did flush below 5150, we could see some big downside pain in the indice options here, or futures rather, sorry, not the options. Deanna, are you looking at any trades on your end? I know that you have your crude chart up right now. We're on your screen.
I am tracking gold at the moment. Hold on, gold is the other side. Let's move that over. So very, very volatile NFP chart here.
What a day, right?
Yeah, I mean, NFP always does a number on GC. So I'm actually ignoring the whip that we are seeing here and just focusing on the ranges that we've now established after the release. So with that said, I have a range.
NVIDIA just broke 900, by the way. Sorry about that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's running, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. 891 already. That fast. Like I said, stops below 900. We almost dashed below 10 points like that. Incredible price action here. It looks like we might tag those 160s now to the downside.
You're in any trades, Rips?
I'm in a short right now, looking for these 180s to hold to the downside.
Well, I mean,
man, I was shorting it before it was cool. Now you guys are all.
I know, yeah.
Beautiful. Taking that off there. That's going to put me up almost 5K on the day right there. We took it level to level. 166 was our next level there.
Beautiful. So, man, we're going to break. And if it could get ugly, we might see 18,100 on the NASDAQ.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we are definitely gunning down towards that area. We did bounce right there at 166. That's why I covered right there at 166 evens. The level below that is 147.75, and that is kind of a comfortable channel there for the NQ. Sorry to interrupt you, D. Just a lot of action going on in the market here.
No, definitely. I'm looking at it. It did actually smack into the average daily range low.
Right.
We do have an inside day. We have a failed auction. There is a slight chance that this turns into a ping back to the middle in NQ.
Correct.
So yeah, I don't really like continuation trades on a neutral day. Neutral day type meaning that we've extended that first hour trading range, aka the initial balance, to both sides. Because it's kind of like stretching the elastic band on both sides. If you kind of let one side go, it just goes ping, it goes back to the middle, right?
Yeah. NVIDIA, by the way, almost down 100 points here from the highs, believe it or not. We are trading 882s now in NVIDIA. What an epic unwind, folks. This is an incredible day of price action. I hope everybody out there is nailing it.
Do you have a timber? Look at NASDAQ.
We have this one.
Crazy. Oh, there we go.
There goes 100 points of NVIDIA right down the toilet.
We were up almost 1% on NASDAQ. Now I'm looking, we're down about a half.
Yeah, big bounce there, right almost at our 147.75 level. Big bounce in NVIDIA. I'm sorry, in the NQ there. And D was talking about the potential that we would bounce and rally there. So nice prescient call there from D as well. Where would you be looking to take a trade on gold or oil or even NASDAQ? I know you don't trade NASDAQ, so gold or oil, where would you be looking to take a trade?
Yeah, so gold is establishing a new range. Where's my mouse pointer? Oh, there it is. So it's establishing a new range top at 21.84.7. And then we also have a bottom post NFP at 21.70.5. So I'm actually looking at the rest of the day for the next couple of hours as a potential for a range bound day. So using those two levels as a reference, you can effectively try and bounce from one side to the other. So therefore looking for shorts somewhere around 21.84.7 and higher, because usually on a range bound day, you do expect the highs and the lows to be broken and then to reverse, because that's what the nature of a rotational day is. So there is a chance that I have a short setup in GC here. Therefore, I'm going to drop down to a slightly lower time frame. So the big whip here is from NFP, so I'm not looking at that. Therefore, I'm more focused on something that on my chart says M30 Q high, if I can get it back. There it is. So the Q high thing is actually my concept of systematic swing extremes. So rather than just looking at the very tops and bottoms, I do look at the top and bottom quartile of the established swing. So that kind of prevents me from going into like the middle of ranges on a range bound day. And most of the time, you will get a range bound day. So however large, 56% of the time, markets will be range bound. So that's something that you really should master at some point. Otherwise, we can't always be looking for momentum trades. I know that I got stuck trading ES when it was absolutely dead for many years, and I absolutely hated it, which is why I'm not an equities trader. I just got so scarred from looking at 16 tick days. Like literally that was the whole day in ES. That I was just like, I don't want to trade that card. It's just going to kill my soul. So range bound is okay if you have a decent range, but if it's a super tight range, that gets so frustrating to trade.
100%.
But I mean, gold today, it's got one hell of a range. We are talking about overall about 300 ticks on the day, but this range alone is 140 ticks, just not taking that NFP spike into consideration, and that's good enough for a potential rotational day. So that's what I'm looking at. I am on a 5-minute chart. I might even drop down to a 2-minute chart at some point to look
Crude
for
is
those
ripping,
trades.
by the way.
Yeah, I want to go over to your screen really quick. Sorry to interrupt, D, but Dakota, your trade is phenomenal right now, folks. Give it up for Dakota in the chat here.
Target hit there, yep.
Just crushing it in Crude right now.
We're just ripping. I'm going to trail this. This is going to be almost identical to NASDAQ, but flip the chart upside down, and here we go. So going to have one contract here.
Nice, very nice on the offer.
Go ahead and get rid of one contract out of my personal account too. I'm trading 2 accounts.
Not easy to do, by the way, while you're a guest on TopstepTV, while you're interacting with everybody in chat. I mean, this is not easy to do. So hats off to you, Dakota.
Yeah. How's that? You guys like apples, right?
You tell him, Dakota.
How about them apples? That's one of my favorite movies is Good Will Hunting.
Well, you were in it. I think that people know that you were in the movie. You were in the film. You did a great performance, I have to say.
That was my other life. Right after film mining, then I got that big break.
So we are bouncing incredibly hard here. Going back over to the trading view screen here. This is the 1-minute chart just so we can get a little bit granular. But we had that push down right to our level of 147 3/4. Now we are auctioning level to level here, all the way up from 147 3/4 all the way back up to 224 halves. So that was just a beautiful V-shaped recovery on that bouncer. I didn't catch anything on the long side here. I didn't see that setup myself. It moved a little bit too quickly here. Juggling a lot of different balls here as we are hosting the TopstepTV channel. So yeah, congratulations to anybody who caught that huge bounce. We had NVIDIA auctioning as low as, just give me a moment here, the low was $8.80.58. We are now auctioning back above $9.05. So we're seeing bounces in NVIDIA that are worth billions and billions of dollars of equity that is moving like a small cap stock right now. This is a market that I love to trade because we have so much volatility that's sitting here for us. And this is a market that we haven't seen in a very long time. And we were talking about this kind of in December, that we had the opportunity that March could be a wild month. It's really shaping up to be a wild month in equities over here. And I think also, Crude and gold also showing us that they can move as well. Gold has been moving so rapidly lately, giving us tons of opportunities as traders here. And like Dee's just so eloquently put with her setup that she's looking for, the potential of a risk reward to this. I mean, you have 5 to 1, 10 to 1, even 20 to 1 on a lot of these trades here that you just don't see in a still market. So if you're not catching this market yet and you're not in the pocket with this market, just be patient, trade on a practice account, get comfortable with this kind of volatility, because as a trader, this is the type of days, this is the type of volatility where we can make our months, we can make our weeks. This is the type of trading that can actually give you the best performance for your portfolio. So if you're having trouble with this, if you're out of the pocket today, don't worry about it. It's just one day. It's one day of many days. We talked about this even yesterday, even the day prior. Everybody thinks that, oh, there's never going to be a day like this again. And then here we come with Friday, huge rip to the top side, huge fade back down. Now we're seeing a big bounce. The markets are moving. We're getting beautiful volatility. This is what it's all about when I'm talking about being a trader. This is the volatility that I just love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
There's always opportunities every single day. We might run into a little bit of a slower period, but it picks up within 3 to 4 weeks, and that's it. Unless we have semi-apocalypse happening, and in that case, we've got bigger problems.
Yeah, I think trading is going to be the least of our worries in that. Dakota, just going back to your screen here, I wanted to get a quick little vibe check on your trade here. You're up on your final 2 contracts. All right, did you trim on both your live account and in your Topstep Combine there?
Correct. Yes. And then I'm probably going to do the same. It's going to be exactly like my NASDAQ trade, but in reverse. I'm going to follow this up, trail it. We still have some time until the oil close. So I might, most likely, we're going to be ending the stream with me long these 2 contracts. We have 20 minutes left. It's been fun. Just real quick, I was going to touch base. Earlier, I was telling I got some amazing news for traders here, and I figure I could give it out to you guys in terms of the news. Is I'm getting approval, and I've been pushing this. I have my slow markets class Monday through Thursday
here on this channel, right?
Time. Yes, here at Topstep channel. I'm getting approval to do a fire drill on my slow market. So
wow.
I don't know the exact day yet, but I'm going to let everybody here know. It's not going to be a normal fire drill where we just have everybody come in and whoever is here, they're going to just get a free reset. It's going to be to the traders who is there on my slow markets class who trade slow markets. And it's not going to be just for you show up for the one time and then you get a free reset or a free account and then you just no longer watch it. I'm going to find a way to make sure I am rewarding those traders who are in my slow markets, the slow markets traders, because that's what I am here for. So yeah, there's still a lot to be figured out. There's a lot behind the scenes, as you guys can imagine, with tens of thousands of traders all piling in for the free stuff. I just got word last night from Las Vegas on some of the teams that it's looking good for the second half of this month, and I will continue to provide more details. I will be providing those details in my slow markets class, but not here. So
that's exciting.
Only
very
stuff you guys get exclusive to slow markets traders. So
and just so that people know, how do they find slow markets? I know it's Monday through Thursday. What time does that air here? Right here on this channel.
Yeah, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on this channel. So don't like the Topstep TV until you get to slow markets. If you haven't subscribed yet, wait until slow markets, subscribe and like that.
Oh, goodness. Well, do make sure that you are subscribed to the stream here with your notifications turned on so you do actually get notified when Coach Dakota is going live. Also, you get notified whenever Topstep TV is going live. We do have about 15 minutes left here, and this is usually when I like to ask our guests that have come on. We've already asked Dakota. D, I know that people would love to know where they can find you. Can you walk us through what's the easiest way for people to find you?
The easiest way is my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/market stalkers, because a community of market stalkers. It's not just me, even though I'm Market Stalker D. By the way, I'm in a short crude oil.
Oh, let me go over to your screen here. There we go.
Yeah. So here we go. So 78.24. Just, I'm not going to keep it long because we do have lunchtime coming up.
Go ahead and get into another long then.
Very, very nice.
So yeah, it's the easiest on YouTube. So
I did just post that link in chat, folks. If you want to click that link, please go over there. Please subscribe to her stream. Let's get those sub numbers up for her. Go ahead and go through her videos too. Drop a comment, drop an emoji on her videos. It'll help with the YouTube algorithm. And I think, folks, she spent her time with us here for this Friday. She didn't have to do this. So that's the least that we can do to show our appreciation here for Dee for stopping by and just crushing it in the trades that we saw.
Thank you, RIPS.
Can they find you also on Twitter? Is there a Twitter account that
Yes,
you?
I mean, my Twitter account is a whole bunch of random stuff. I don't necessarily just keep it to trading. There's a lot of dogs. There's, just stupid things that kind of pop into my head, cooking and whatever. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's Pip_Raider. So like Tomb Raider, but with pips.
That link has also been dropped in the chat, folks. Please go and follow D on Twitter as well. Any other socials that you have, D? Anything else that?
Yeah, but I don't use them actively. If you look for market stalkers, there's like an Instagram page as well. So yeah, me and socials, I find it very overwhelming, and I don't really like spending a lot of time on the socials unless I'm on live streams and stuff. I find that they just suck my time and energy, so I don't really like doing that. But yeah, YouTube is my main platform. I do stream usually on Tuesdays or Thursdays, so it depends on the schedule. So yeah, you can find me there. You can also, connect with me on Twitter because I do post a fair amount of things there, even though they might not be trading related.
100%. Yeah, so folks did post that link there in the YouTube chat. Go ahead and follow D on both the YouTube and on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And would really appreciate everybody going and do that. We have about 3,500 of you folks in here. So we should see her Twitter subscribers increase by at least 3,500 folks. Come on, go hit that follow button. Same thing over at her YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed. Put those notifications on so you can see anytime that D is going live. So you can catch her live streaming. Is that what you do majority on your YouTube channel over there?
I used to do a lot of long form videos, but then YouTube kind of changed the algorithm, and it just became not. I mean, I don't know what I need to do to increase views there, because I used to get a lot of views, but now I'm kind of thinking of just doing live streams, and I have been playing around with the idea to just open up all of my live streams to the public, because some of them are just members only to keep like the sessions kind of nice and intimate. But I want to give back, so very likely going forward, all of the streams will be just public, so anybody can join. Very,
very nice. And Dakota, how do people find you besides Slow Markets? Are you on a Discord? Are you anywhere else?
I mean, I do have my old MySpace account. It still might be active. I have maybe 5-10 years ago. It was the last time I logged into it. But other than that, no, it's just YouTube here on Slow Markets, and then on the TopstepTV Discord. Those are the two places you could find me. Other than that, I'm very hard to get to.
Is that by design?
That is by design, because I don't like social media. That's just the way that I am.
And that's perfectly
social media
fine.
For me has just been very distracting. I tried TikTok, but I find myself that I waste a lot of time doing that.
Good old TikTok. So. You didn't enjoy the dancing?
I don't even have TikTok on my phone anymore.
So
go ahead.
I
was just gonna say I've never actually used TikTok myself. I have my own TikTok page, but I mean it's just my trading videos that I post on it. But I've never actually, I don't have it installed on my phone. I just use the web application to post my videos. But I've never actually. I feel like Instagram is sort of like TikTok now. It has more of that stuff on it. So
interesting. I was gonna do my own YouTube channel, but it's too much of a headache, and I value my time, and just gonna do it on here with Topstep. This is an amazing community. It's an amazing company, and so my Slow Markets class is being done, at 8 p.m. here on the TopstepTV YouTube. It's a lot easier. They're handling everything on the back end. I just get to show up and teach my Slow Markets class and help traders out. And that's all I really want. It's not about the money. It's not about starting a community and having people pay me for whatever. Very, very much. It's just, to be honest, I just want to help traders out. I love to see it. It's very fulfilling. I hop onto your Discord as well, Rips, and chat, and I just have so much fun doing that. Maybe that's my way, instead of going out and partying and socializing, that's my way to party and enjoy and socialize, is to talk to you guys as traders. So
that's a beautiful thing.
My social life.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Indeed it is. Yes.
So, folks, if you did enjoy the session that we had here on Topstep TV, please show your appreciation by smashing that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the stream here because we have a lot of fun here on this channel. We've had a great time doing the takeover here. It's been a heck of a ride. It's been so great. I really appreciate everybody who came out and supported us. By the way, I did just take a short there and I got smacked. So I'm down to $4,300. We were at $4,900. But yeah, just to show full transparency here, as we always do, where is the screen? There it is. On my Express funded accounts, there it is, 2,200 in one, 2,100 in the other. Adds up to $4,300 and some change there. So that's how we did today on our Express funded account. I know Dakota was crushing it on his own live account, still in that oil long over there.
So yeah, full transparency for me. All the money that I made today was on a simulated environment, a dummy. I did take my crude oil longs in my personal live account that I made some money on. But total, right now I'm hovering around $6,800. But that's all Monopoly money, right? And then $800 on my personal live. And then my Topstep live account, I'm negative. I've had a really ugly looking week so far overall. My Topstep live account, I am down about $3,300 this week. So overall, you'll see me on the leaderboards maybe still Monday. I think my overall account balance for my live will be around $47,000. So
wow.
Yeah, I also traded combines. I didn't trade my live account recently, so I'm, like I said, I'm tweaking a few things. So I have the three combines here. And each of those is copying into the other. Well, one of them is copying into the other two. And so on each of them is 872 total profit because I just took off that short. So 2.6 for the day. Not too bad.
That's a great day.
Yeah, pretty decent. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you everybody for tuning in today for our special session here. Thank you for tuning in the last days. Thank you so much to Dee for coming out here. And thank you to Coach Dakota for being here every single day. We also had Anne-Marie on with us yesterday. So thank you again, Anne-Marie, for being here. And thank you to all you in chat who stuck around and traded this very fun price action, this amazing day with us. It was a really, really fun day of trade. And I really appreciate every single one of you coming out. We all do appreciate you here. And we look forward to seeing everybody back here bright and early on Monday. It's going to be the same regular programming that you folks are used to, same regular time, same regular channel, and we hope to see you folks here back here again. I hope everybody out there has a safe weekend. Please trade safely if you're going to continue to trade for the rest of the day. And again, thank you, Deanna, and thank you, Coach Dakota.
And thanks, RIPS,
as well.
Thanks, RIPS, for doing this amazing. Yeah, nobody says thank you to RIPS, right? So, RIPS, you did such a great job. You're an amazing host. Thank you so much for doing this. This was just so fun. I don't know about you, Dakota, but I had a lot of fun with you guys.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And also, everybody, there's nobody else behind the scenes. It was 100% RIPS.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody you see here, myself, Deanna, Anne-Marie yesterday. RIPS was managing it all. He was managing the audio. He was getting us in, getting us out. You guys see the charts and us moving around the screen. Yeah. It was 100% RIPS. I was just a co-pilot, enjoying, relaxing, losing some money, having some good times, making some friends, but 100% RIPS. And yeah, we had a little bit of issue with Topstep X this morning, or rhythmic, I should say. That's a better way to do it. And man, to make sure that everything went really smooth for the stream was beyond what I would have ever expected. Not that I don't have great expectations from a partner and a trader and a fellow trading buddy, but this was an amazing stream. It was fun. I loved it. I know you guys loved it as well. It was really fun to have this. And I look forward to maybe doing this again another time. Next time the team goes away somewhere, hopefully that gives the confidence in them that we can hold up the house and
that we can actually hold it down over here.
Hold it down, yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure that we bring that vote of confidence if the team comes back and they ask, how did we do it holding it down? By the way, here is the YouTube channel that you can follow me on. It's Market Clubhouse. If you folks ever want to follow me there, that's where you can find me day to day there. And that's where I stream every single day in the morning before I come over here to Topstep TV. So I appreciate Deanna and Dakota. Thank you so much for the kind words. You folks didn't have to say all that stuff. I'm blushing over here. I really do appreciate you folks very, very much. And I appreciate, again, everybody tuning in here. It's been a wonderful day, a wonderful session. And I really hope to see you all again very, very soon out there. And I hope you have a great, fantastic trading day ahead. I hope all of your dreams come true this weekend, and we're all back here to trade again bright and early on Monday. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again very, very soon out there, and we'll see you on Monday here on Top Step TV. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care.